given a full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 6, 3, 2, 1, 9, 7.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Tuesday night, and that means it is show night, and we're back to talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about, which of course begins with aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. But that's not all. It continues with a 24-hour news cycle, the government, academia. All of these things are looked down upon. These are conversations we're not supposed to be having. And I think it's most apparent recently as we see the actual technocrats crack down on particular speech, right? On particular thought crimes, as they were. I think it's an interesting 2021 as it rings into this new year. Hotter than a hot potato. Definitely more ridiculous than 2020 even thought of being at this point last year. And as a result of all of that, here we are wondering what the hell is going on, right? Like this has been an insane couple of weeks, and the news cycle just will not let up. The political spin and the cudgel they use to every single division point. They're doing their thing. You turn on any mainstream media, and what are they doing? They're talking about how to make you hate your neighbor. It may not be exactly in those words. It's pretty subtle. Well, not even really subtle anymore. They've really come out and proven who they were. But that's not what this show's about. I mean, this show's about watching those guys and making sure that they can't get away with bloody murder. Not on our watch. But tonight, this show's not about those things. Tonight, this show's about disclosure. Disclosure 2021. And there's a ton of information, a ton of things that have kind of squeaked out that really have not been getting a ton of attention here because, of course, because of the aforementioned media, because of the aforementioned 24-hour news cycle, because of the brainwash, the constant deluge of brainwash that is raining down upon our heads every second, and the technocrats that are transcribing every word as I speak it, waiting with the proverbial band hammer. Is this what you would call the digital chopping block, guys? What do you think? Is this is a conspiracy theorist head on the chopping block? Figuratively speaking, of course, we don't condone violence on this show at all, ever. But is this what we're waiting for? Is this what's going on here? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, all of those things aside, I think basically 2021 has basically taught us that 2020 ain't got shit. let's hold my beer, says 2021, and here we are talking about trying to bring it back to kind of the bread and butter of the show and what we normally talk about. But it's been crazy. It's been off the rails, as you know. If anybody hasn't been living under a rock, just the everything's in overdrive, trying to brainwash and do the things that they do. So yeah, anyway, there's the intro of the show. That's what the show's about. All of those things and more. But most importantly, the show's about you. It shows about you and your ability to think for yourself. This show is about your own discernment. This show is about becoming an individual in a society that will not allow you individual thought. And so, of course, like Alex Jones says, there is an information war here, right? There's definitely an information war going on. And so that's really what this show's about in the end. In the end of ends, and it's about becoming a person outside of the brainwash cycle. And that's why we do it. And we do it to include you. Now, this is important. This is one of the most important parts of this whole damn show, is transparency. And we do this live. It's Tuesday night. We already did the news show earlier on Twitch. If you guys were over there, thanks for showing up, or the folks that were over there listening. But we're taking live calls. This whole damn show tonight, just like every show we do, we're taking live calls. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's a Las Vegas area code, and you can join the show that way, or you can also click the Discord link, and that's a chat client, a voice client. That's what Discord is. It's what all the youngsters are using to play video games and communicate with each other and coordinate perfectly to take you down in Call of Duty. I've been a witness to that, but that's what's happening. That's what Discord is, and it's a persistent chat client. So if you still don't want to be on the show, but you want to join a great group of people, join the Discord. You can find the Discord link and the phone number at troubledminds.org. That's the official website, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're talking about aliens. We're talking about disclosure. We're talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. This has always been the idea. Has always been an open forum, and we want to include you in all the things that you do and all the things that you think, and that's how we do it. One more time, 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org and also find the phone number there, and let's roll. We're going to have Ash on a little bit later. I think he was grabbing a quick bite to eat, but then he'll be on to talk about alien disclosure and maybe some of the things that we're missing right now, because there's a lot that we're missing, I think, yeah. So, all right, this is how this is going to work. We're going to do shout-outs. I know we get some heat for this, but this is a social stream. I want to talk to you. I want you to talk to me. I'm saying hello. To everybody that shows up and types in the chat, I'm going to say hello tonight. I'm going to do my best. I sometimes miss people because I am human after all, but that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do shout-outs. We're going to say hi to the folks who showed up, were nice enough to show up tonight, and spend their time with us. So I understand there's a million different things you could be doing right now. Right, you could be doing a million different things, and so to me, it's important to say hello and acknowledge you guys being here. So thank you for being here first, and second, let's go to Facebook and actually, yeah, just to kind of fill people in that don't know, we're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Periscope if it still exists. They're taking that down soon. We're streaming on DLive as long as that lasts. That's the next Parler. Mark my words, that's the next one they're coming after. We're streaming on all those things, just not Twitch anymore because that's been monetized for the news show. So anyway, that's what's going on. We're going to say hi in chat in just a sec here, but if you want a shout out, just type in the chat where you're listening from, and we will shout you out as we go. So let's get started, shall we? Let's do this, and let's start on YouTube. Eli has been consistent as hell. Almost every single time Eli's first in the chat. What's up, Eli? Thanks for showing up tonight. Eli on YouTube. We got Daedalus a close second. Lizzie at YouTube as well. Thanks for being here tonight. We got Bailey. Beep beep boop. How you doing? Cedric. Hey yo. We got Maldeeb. How you doing? Dunga Dunga Deep. I guess, are we creating our own language now? Are we like those AI bots that are just creating our own language? I think we have to, right? I think with a conspiracy theory becoming a thing of the past quickly, I think maybe we do have to Maybe start our own language. Oh, geez. All right, we're going to go to Facebook. How you doing? Let's see. That's Madeep from Eastern Colorado. There you go. And then let's go to Facebook. We got Eric from Pittsburgh gets first. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here tonight. William from Singapore gets a close second. We got Scully. We're here. We are you, Black Manted Crew. I like that. What's up, Remy? Thanks for showing up tonight. Long time no see, my friend. We got, let's see, Eric says, UFO disclosure is spreading far and wide today. Yeah, it's all over the place, right? It's all over the place. What's up, Philip? How you doing? Philip from Southern Oregon. What's up, Robert? Thanks for being here. I think Robert is from, I'm not sure where you're from. He never tells me. Dustin in Missouri. How you doing? Thanks for being here tonight. Eric says, Trump putting that UFO disclosure in the COVID-19 bill was the best thing in 2020. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. A little bit of that tonight. We kind of haven't really covered that in a long format, just on the news show and little briefs here or there. So we're going to talk about the actual UFO disclosure that's happening today, tonight, this week, this year, and what people are saying about it. And, as always, people have all kinds of hot takes on this. And the aliens are here. The aliens were here. The aliens are going to be here. Everywhere in between. Every single thing is always you got hot takes on all of it. So we're going to talk about all of those things. But like I said, we're going to include you. So I'll put the phone number up again in just a sec. And we're ready to go just about. Michael, what's up? Getting people ready for the fake invasion. The U.S. Space Force is coming. And we'll shoot up some shit and blame it on the little green men in the same way they blame 9/11 on some goat herders. Says Michael from Facebook. Those are not my words, technocrats. Those are somebody else's words. What's up, Elizabeth from Oregon? Thanks for being here. Derek, thanks for showing up. John, oh neat. I'll be gambling. Gambling what? What are you gambling for? I don't know what you're gambling for, but that's okay. I wish you luck, my friend. Derek says, I was just thinking about Spooky Mulder, and then I noticed a Scully in the chat. Yes, we have a Scully in the chat. Can you believe that? You guys can call me Spooky. It's okay. But there's Scully over there. Let's see. We got Juan. Thanks for being here tonight. We got John. I condone violence at certain times. Okay, I do not. So just so we're clear, And I think probably violence doesn't ever get shit done. It ends up in people dying a lot. That's for sure. I think you can turn on, go seek it out, and you shall find. It's the world over. People are dying right now, and it's due to violence and government and all the rest of this. What's up, John? Haven't watched the news in years. Lamestream Media don't have Twitch. That's cool. Come join us on Twitch, man. You can. We do a news show every day, and it's really kind of like I call it conspiracy news because it's basically real news, right? Light commentary. I don't get too soapboxy, just a little bit here or there, but yeah, come check us out on Twitch, man. We do 5 days a week, and that may be changing, so we may have some announcements to make here coming up soon. I can't really disclose any details just yet because the ink isn't dry type of situation, but we're going to mix up the schedule, and we got hopefully more good content coming your way. So hang in tight, guys. Not going to leave you hanging. Going to keep the great content coming, and hopefully be able to spread the audience to a bunch of other fantastic people, and hopefully bring them in and allow you guys to meet them as well. So we're looking at expanding a little bit, and details to come. So stay tuned for that. In the coming days, weeks, and months. Who knows how long these things take? But hopefully we get a thing happening here pretty soon. So let's see. John says thank you for the content. Thank you for enjoying it. Thanks for coming and spending your time with us. I mean that. Let's see. What did I miss? John says, what did I miss with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why is everybody pissed at him? I don't watch TV. Let me explain that. Actually, I'll explain that. Now, here's the funniest part about that. Just as a quick side note on this. A couple days ago on the news show, I was just kind of making a joke and talking about Mars and how the robot dogs will be chasing us down on Mars, right? Because we were talking about those robot dogs are being trained to search caves in Mars, right? And so I was like, well, it's hard to. At least we have, talking about Mars and going there on vacation and being tracked down by robot dogs. I said, at least we have Total Recall, right? And I talked about Arnold, and I said, at least Arnold. It's hard to hate Arnold. And like the next day, he comes out with the most ridiculous statement you ever heard. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Speaking of, just a quick derail because I think this is funny and you guys brought it up and we didn't talk about it on the news show. But hold on. I'll finish the shout outs first, but let me pull this up just a sec. And yeah, just as I say, it's hard to hate Arnold. He literally the next day he comes out and says some just ridiculous shit. So we'll talk about that in just a sec here and play the video for you. But okay, anyway, let's keep on moving with the shout outs and we'll play that Arnold thing in just a sec. So, all right, let's see. What else do we got? All right, let's see. Robert says, did Cuba beam microwaves at the Steelers? Asking for America. That's it's funny. It's because the Steelers lost and they were a heavy favorite, and the Cleveland Browns had a bunch of COVID outs on their team. That's funny, Robert. That's funny. Larry, what's up? Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up tonight. We got John from Kansas. Thanks for showing up. We got Johnny. What's up? Wait, what? I've been out of it. Yeah, I'll explain. Hold on. No, too much. Too much. Let me sum up. We're going to keep doing shout outs. I'm going to talk about aliens. There you go. Rachel, what's up? So glad I was able to tune in. I am glad as well. Thanks for being here tonight. John, let's see. Brian, we got John says, beginning of the show, it said you were by Vegas. I am in Vegas. I live in Vegas. Yes. By the extraterrestrial highway, even. Well, ish. But yeah, so that's where we're streaming from, Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see, who else? Philip, Brian, John. Okay, we're all caught up. If I missed anybody in the shout outs, just as you come in, just say hi. Just type where you're listening from. I'll give you a shout out, and we'll continue. We're talking about aliens tonight, guys. We're talking about 2021 and the year that it's going to be for disclosure. We're not talking about COVID tonight. We're not talking about the technocrats, well, only kind of in the periphery. But we're not really. That's not the subject tonight. The subject is back to the good old bread and butter of this show. Aliens and disclosure and how the government treats it and how we're supposed to consume that treatment fed to us on the plate by the government. So, anyway, that's what's on deck tonight. But here we go. Let's somebody brought up Arnold. It's hard to hate Arnold, right? All right. So here we go. This is from NPR. Just a quick aside. Let's just throw this in. Right after I said it's hard to hate Arnold, he releases this video the very next day. All right, here we go. Now I know the Holocaust is a very awful thing, and there's nobody that's going to ever deny any of that, right? But I think we have to be very careful. Just kind of prefacing this by how we characterize mass murder with not mass murder. Okay. So just saying. All right. Now, this is what Arnold said that pissed everybody off. Here you go. This is
As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans and to our friends around the world about the events of recent days. Now, I grew up in Austria. I'm very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys. Wednesday was the day of broken glass right here in the United States. The broken glass was in the windows of the United States Capitol. But the mob did not just shatter the windows of the Capitol, they shattered the ideals we took for granted. They did not just break down the doors of the building that housed the American democracy, they trampled the very principles on which our country was founded.
Okay, so that's good enough. This is a 7-minute video. We're not going to watch this entire thing. If you want to, I'm linking it, and you guys can watch the whole thing. But all right, so you get the idea, right? Just because there's some broken glass does not equate this to the night of broken glass, the Kristallnacht, as it said. I'm sorry, it's not the same thing whatsoever. And he's basically accusing people that were at the Capitol of being Nazis, right? Of actual mass murderers. And I'm sorry, but that is a really terrible and dangerous statement to make, in my opinion. Again, like I said, I always say this: you can't malign an entire generation for what one person does. You just can't. All right. And so, for example, in my opinion, again, I am not the arbiter of truth. I want to make this very clear. This is not the Answer Show. I'm telling you my opinion, and you're entitled to a different opinion, of course. And if you have comments on this, I want to let you know. You can call and discuss them. All right, 702-957-1037. Now, equating actual mass murder with not mass murder is dangerous. All right, because he's calling people that didn't murder anybody. Now, okay, so now, right, you say, but hold on, there was some people dead at the Capitol, all right? And yes, there was. The Capitol Police shot and murdered a woman. Yes, that happened. There were 3 medical deaths, which I believe it was heart attacks and strokes, something like this. And then there was 1 officer that was trampled, okay? And then there was another officer that was suicide. So total 6 people as far as I'm aware at this point, all right? So violence, yes. Notice... and there's a lot of injuries, so the injuries. But, anyway, there's all that. But anyway, we're not talking about that tonight. I just want to point out that that's why they're pissed off at Arnold, in case you didn't know. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. We're going to continue with the show. All right. Waiting for Ash here. He'll be here quickly, but we're going to talk about tonight. This is what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about this. So there's a ton of news hitting right now, actually. Matter of fact, tonight and this past week. So here we go. This is let's see. This is reported by the New York Post, and this has gone off the chain today. I don't know if anybody saw this stuff, but they're talking about our good buddy John Greenwald from the Black Vault, right? Who, again, I have a great respect for, because this man has spent most of his life trying to bring us transparency through government documents, right? He's very well known for the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act's requests he does to get documents from everything from, you name it, to political stuff, to figures, public figures, to like he did Mother Teresa. He got a FOIA on her. Also, Stanton Friedman, a ufologist, probably the most prominent, in my opinion, maybe of all time. But like, these are the types of things, when these people pass away, he's getting documents on them, which you can't get till they pass away, right? So not only that, he's getting documents on UFOs, right? He's probably the foremost, one of them anyway, archives of UFO documentation in the world. He's done over 10,000 FOIA requests. He's got over 2 million pages on the Black Vault website. Good stuff here, right? Okay, and so he's had a lot of this information out there, and for some reason, I don't know why today, but the media has been freaking out. It's been freaking out covering this. So this is from the New York Post. Let's take a look at this. And did I link it? I did. All right, let's link it in Facebook. Make sure we include everybody. Let's make sure we share. And all right, so this is what's going on right now in the disclosure world, okay? A couple more shout-outs we'll do. I see some folks showing up. What's up, Christopher? Thanks for being here. Hello, greetings, fellow Earthlings. What's up, John? He said, yeah, he effed up. Talking about Crystal Knocked. Yeah, I agree. Philip says, yes, this is the answer show, damn it. No, come on. It's the opposite. It's if you believe so, there are answers here. I agree with you. Can you find all the answers here? No. This is not that show. This is not the yeah. Anyway, what's up, Fred? Fred from Phoenix. Thanks for being here. We got let's see, who else do we got? Paul from Newcastle. We got the Wizard Grin. Thanks for showing up. Bailey says I was definitely singing the intro song. Definitely. Thanks for being here, guys. Bandicats. What's up? We got Joe from Florida. Thanks for being here. Rajesh from Canada. Without accountability, it could lead to that if not checked soon. Okay. Well, hold on though. Just going back to the Arnold thing. A lot of things could lead to that if not checked, right? I mean, a lot of things, like pretty much anything. Like the left side of the aisle and the right side of the aisle politically could lead to those things if not checked. So you see, there's a lot of things that could lead to this, and there's a lot of ways that you can stretch and make statements that aren't true. And so it's just not true. It's just not true from what Arnold said. But again, I'm not the arbiter of truth here. You are the arbiter of your own truth. And if you have comments on this and you want to talk about this, again, it wasn't really what we're going to talk about tonight. But of course, the conversation is open, and if it leads there, that's where it leads. 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link. You can be part of the show that way. And watching the phone lines, waiting for Ash here. Ash will show up in just a minute. I promise you. He said he's on the way. And then we're going to keep on talking about UFOs. But again, transparency is important. If you guys disagree, no problem. And remember, the whole premise here of the conversation, of all the conversations we have, is we're allowed to disagree. Okay, first, we're allowed to be wrong. We have the right to be wrong. Second, we're allowed to disagree with each other and still be friends. You see, all of those things I just said are literally the opposite of what the media tells us every day, right? They tell us that if somebody disagrees with you, they are the enemy, right? They are the unperson. They are the Nazis. They are the this, they are the that, whatever it is, whatever they want to call them, to make them not a person, but an enemy. That's what the mainstream tells us. So anyway, we're the opposite of that. It's okay. We can agree and we can disagree, and we can be friends and all the rest of that. So anyway, all right. Speaking of friends, what's up, Ash, the reptilian from Mars? What's up, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Hello, everyone. How you guys all doing?
You already know, man. You already know. It's Tuesday night. It's show night. Doing good. Feeling good. Looking good. What can I say?
Oh, I mean, that's a given. You got one of them human beers in your hands?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is one of those nights. How you doing, my man?
I am high on Martian dust.
Nice.
And I'm ready to hang out. Yeah.
Nice. Is that legal in your jurisdiction? I just want to check.
Until Elon Musk gets here, I guess it's okay. It's straight. But he's a straight edge, so whatever. When he invades my planet, I'm planning on overthrowing him eventually anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, all right. All good. We got I was going to actually ask you about the Mars insurrection, but maybe we'll skip that. It's probably a little too polarizing at this point. All right. So let's we're talking about you're just in time because we're talking about UFOs tonight. We're talking about how the news is kind of flying around regarding this. Here we go. This is straight from the New York Post. Let's just get right into it. You are literally just in time. So the New York Post has a headline that says this: CIA releases UFO Black Vault documents early. How to see them online. And this is January 12th. This is today, right? And everybody's freaking out. Actually reporting this. I saw it on the Drudge Report. Actually, hold on. Let's pull up Twitter real quick because John Greenwald Jr. of the Black Vault actually was thanking everybody for covering his website, and he posted. Let's see, it was the Drudge Report. It was the New York Times. I don't know. There's a ton of people here. Hold on. Let me get it. Let me find out. Anyway, have you seen all the this stuff going around today, or have you been too beat down by the other media where they're not letting you see this type of stuff?
Oh, I thought. Wait a minute. Are you guys censoring stuff, or are you letting everything out? Pick one here, humans. Like, what's going on here?
I think that's
no. I'm hearing rumors that there's a dump, but I heard that WikiLeaks dropped it all, but they've been spamming that for the last 2-3 years, and then you check the link, it's the same stuff over and over again. So you're saying there's some new stuff today?
Well, they're reporting that it's new stuff today, but I don't know that that's the case. So let's look at actually John Greenwald's Twitter here, because he was actually tweeting today about all the coverage he's getting, and it's literally going through the roof. It's crazy, all the different things. Okay, here we go. So he says if you're searching for a file name the CIA has, let's see, he's answering all kinds of people because he's blown up today. He said it's an unbelievable amount. So Sarah Carter covered that. She's a Fox News contributor. Let's see, the New York Post covered it. Who else? The Drudge Report, like I said, he's got through all the way through here. He's got a bunch of people talking to him about who actually covered this stuff and saying thank you for covering this, blah blah. And I'm his servers are chugging because he's got so many eyeballs on his stuff here. So anyway, just this is going down today, and it's not the interesting thing is most of this information is not new. This is not new at all. So I'm kind of wondering what pushed this out into the mainstream where everybody's covering this right now and kind of pushing it into the headlines when this particular information, as far as I'm aware, is not even new. Peculiar, don't you think?
Oh, well, I mean, I have a theory about that. And the theory is that, we've covered content before. And there was that, oh man, I'm really terrible with names. The guy who is a lobbyist, alien UFO lobbyist in Washington, used to sleep in his car when he first started. And he was saying that they're doing briefings and stuff, the Tom DeLonge, I don't know how much of that's involved, that they're trying to get this UFO stuff out. But with Trump, Orange Man bad, Orange Man good, all that, the whole news cycle, the thing's being freaking clogged. And that they haven't been able to get stuff out. So now that we're kind of folding the book on that, maybe now they're seeing the opportunity to get this stuff out with a sense of urgency because they're kind of behind on their timetable. So that's the first part. And the second is that I've always hypothesized that whatever the real truth is, and I'm not saying this stuff is the truth, we don't know, but it's already available to us. We're all just waiting around seeing to be yeah, that's what it was, right? Like maybe a photo of an alien dude, but there probably is already one that exists. It's probably already there on the internet. You just don't know which one's real, right? That's the hard part, and that's what they've been doing this whole time is using disinformation to kind of. I mean, it's brilliant. It's I mean, you can't stop a leak, but you could just flood it with bullcrap. It's like fake. They've been doing fake news since the beginning.
Yeah. So that's actually called data dumping, and it's a real thing, right? So instead of trying, as we're finding out, and we're going to find out, I think, just kind of a quick commentary on the technocracy cracking down on speech, we're going to find out quickly that the Streisand effect is real, and people are going to start looking for once you start hiding things, people become curious about those particular things. So places like this are primed to blow up, assuming they don't ban us first, right? So there's a race there. But okay, so we're going to see if they're able to stop this type of thing before we get there. So the race is on. 2021, the race is on. Now, okay. But so the data dumping, instead of trying to censor something, back to that real fast, is that as you censor things, it makes people more curious about them. Okay, so first off, then next you have what's instead of trying to censor the thing, they just dump a bunch of information, a bunch of disinfo around it, kind of making it sloppy and hard to follow. And then this is true, but that's not true. It's a real tactic. It's what they use in the disinformation campaigns and the rest of that stuff. So I mean, this is real. This stuff is for real. And so I'm wondering, like why are we focusing on this now? Why is the New York Post, the Drudge Report, like all kinds of different like big media outlets just kind of pushing this to the front? I mean, you got a couple hot takes there, but I just don't know. It makes me suspicious. Let's say, makes me suspicious. Let's see. Okay, I see your link there. I'll pull that up. We'll talk about that as we go. But okay, yeah. So
I actually have not looked at it. So
okay, that's okay.
But I mean,
that's okay.
It seems like it's worth glossing over in the future.
Right, no problem. Okay, so a couple more shout-outs. Jay, what's up? Thanks for being here tonight. We got Bailey says, does anyone else feel a bit icky that these documents on Black Vault, but I can't seem to find them on CIA.gov? I think they took them down. I think so. I was reading this somewhere. I don't know if this is true, but I think they took them down from CIA.gov, and then so the places like the Black Vault that is actually hosting them, these particular documents. And actually, here, let me just link it so you guys have the actual link to these documents that they're talking about here from the CIA. UFO documents, the CIA collection. It's a real thing. This is a real thing, but they've been online. This is not new information as far as I'm aware. And so I guess let's link this and looking at the chat and kind of kicking it here, talking about UFO and disclosure. Let's see what else. What else do we got? Let's see. Good comments here. Good comments here.
Breaking. Pamela Anderson appeals Trump to pardon Julian Assange and stand up for free speech.
Is there any pictures?
There you go.
I'm sorry.
I wonder if she's going to do a campaign for it. You know what I mean? To raise money or something.
Yeah, right. There's something.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself. I'm just like, I'm looking through things. I don't know how that even popped up. And wouldn't that be, man?
Easy.
History's going to look back and be like, what? What were they doing? I mean, if he was going to do it or not, he was going to do it or not. But it'd be funny if, like, historically it becomes that Pamela Anderson is the one who got it. And then people are going to be like, who is Pamela Anderson? And they're going to be...
Yeah, her claim to fame is she got, we talked about that on the news show. I'm not sure if it's a real thing, but we'll keep an eye on it. As always, we're always keeping an eye on it. Sorry. It's okay. Quick derails here and there, no problem, especially when we're talking about Pamela, our good buddy Pamela. What's up, Mateo from New York? Thanks for showing up tonight. Todd, what's up, OG Todd? How you doing? Johnny says that's obvious by now, isn't it? I'm not sure which part. We've talked about a lot of things already. John says, I didn't know she was still alive. Oh, burn.
Damn.
Paul says, Paul wants to know on YouTube, if you have dust on top of a smart meter, is it smart dust? That's a good one. Bailey says,
a good question.
Yeah, exactly. Lizzie, what's up? Says it's a distraction. Like this UFO disclosure stuff right now, and why the it's being pushed to the front is some sort of distraction. And I wonder, right? Like these are very much tactics used by governments, right? Like that they put a bunch of information out, kind of look at the shiny object over here, UFOs, when they don't want you to see some other things going down. So interesting. I like.
Well, you give Mike, give us $10 million, and we can cause, like, we're two schmucks on the internet. I bet we could This stuff is it's not complicated,
No, yeah.
It's like literally like you have guys who do this all day, all year. I mean, how many people do you think are doing this? Like, how many governments do you think have a staff of people, a whole group of people doing this? And then when they do it, they're going to get connected to news stories. And then all they got to do is go to like, hey, New York Times, I got an exclusive for you. Here's 30 grand. Roll this story. And you bribe you get to know the head guy there, and there you go. You just call him up. You just send an email. Here's a story. Or you could send it in anonymously, and then they're like, like they can't help themselves, and they have to like. It's so easy. It's even easier in this day and age, and you just run ads toward it. Just spend like if you spend like $1 million in ads, like you can get everyone to see that crap like real fast. Like Bloomberg, was it Bloomberg? Who spent
he was one of them,
yeah, he like just he burned so much money in his campaign.
Yeah,
no one liked
the election, and no one liked him. Yeah, so just wasted a bunch of money. Well, that's the thing, right? So with social media, everybody has access to accessing other people and those like the Facebook database, right? So you could put in whatever you want, some kind of distraction internet campaign, and does the phone line drop? What the hell was that? I think the phone line just dropped. All right, no problem. We'll call it back. But yeah, so basically, if you have some money, you can grease the palms of the technocracy, and they'll just blast out your own disinformation campaign. You're totally right. It's become incredibly easy in this day and age, and yeah, it is what it is. So, okay, firing up the phone line. We are live. If you guys want to be part of the show tonight, we're listening to what you have to say, and we want to know. We want to know what you think about this disclosure news today and this week. And there's been a ton of stuff. There's been a ton of stuff as far as UFOs and disclosure. But again, right, kind of nobody's talking about it, even though they push it to the front of the headlines. Right, still, you're not finding a ton of it on Fox or a ton of it on CNN or any of the rest of this. But again, it makes you wonder, like, why is it getting pushed to the front, to the top here? Why is it bubbling back to the top? So anyway, we are live right now. If you want to talk to us about UFOs or whatever else this stuff is, just give us a call. Phone number here is 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link, and you can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org, and come hang out and talk with Ash and Mike and everybody else who might be listening. Bailey's got a good point. So Bailey says, if they're not on the CIA website, this means that we can't verify authenticity, right? As much as we love the Black Vault. And that could be...
They love that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
They love that, dude.
Yeah, they love that.
They freaking love that. They love to, like, they'll put the real story out there, but then they'll sow a seed of doubt. So you can never officially... So, like, with the UFOs being... Like, we've seen UFO videos and stuff for a long time, but when the Pentagon, who was first? Was it the Pentagon? The Pentagon was first?
No, so I think the Tic Tac videos were leaked supposedly, and then the Pentagon came several months later, maybe even a year later.
Later, right?
Yeah, and then they confirmed they were real. Yeah, so I mean,
oh no, the Navy did first, and then the Pentagon did that,
right.
Confirmed it. But but there was a delay, right? So it was like. Cool. Even like Tom DeLonge's like he was literally working with generals and all this stuff, and this guy was like part of a military program, and even then people like wouldn't accept it because you need that confirmation. You just need it, and until then it can always be bullshit. And it's like that's another tactic they use. They just keep that. They never confirm it, and then they can always deny it if they need to. Like if it escalates too quickly, then they could just like diffuse it by being like, oh, that guy's we don't know that person, so.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, again, a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. We want to hear from you guys. There's a ton here talking about news cycles, talking about UFOs, talking about disclosure, talking about all the rest of this stuff. One more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and we're going to keep on talking about UFOs tonight. That's the topic on hand. Okay, so now the Black Vault stuff, not verifiable, just like you said. They love to be able to sow doubt in these narratives. But I would trust John Greenwald and his Like he's had this stuff up for years, you know. Like I don't think he's tampering with the documents. I think he's working in earnest, trying to get as much information out as possible because he's been doing it for years, you know. And he's one of the sources I think we can trust, you know. In a world full of sources we can't, I would put him up there with anybody to say that, okay, if he's talking about it and he's got the document to prove this or that or the other thing, or at least start the conversation in a particular way, that he's one of the most trustworthy in my opinion. And there's a ton of people that hate him and stuff, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, the dude has done an unbelievable amount. If you're into ufology and you hate John Greenwald, I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm just not sure what to tell you. Okay, so anyway.
If I'm into ufology and I don't know who that is, what does that make? Well, in theory, you know, in theory, would that make me?
It'd make you a disinformation agent, clearly. No, but he's got.
Can you give me like a quick rundown of him and his service and all that stuff? Real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back here. TheBlackVault.com. Again, he's done 10,000 FOIA requests, 2 million pages of actual government documents, and not just on UFOs, but on all kinds of other things. Like I was actually just breaking this down just before he showed up, but that's who he is. He's one of the guys that probably one of the foremost archives of actual FOIA documents in the world. And the guy's like, it's his personal thing. It's his personal project. And, you know, as you may or may not know, it costs money to file FOIA requests, and you have to be on the ball and file appeals. And it's a shit ton of work. And then when he gets it, then he's got to scan the documents and put them up online. I mean, you know, there's a lot to this. It's kind of like this project, right? Like, except we're probably like 1/1000th of the work he's done. And we've done a lot of work on this project, right? Trying to make people get that it doesn't have to be division all the time. We can talk about these things, even hot, spicy topics, and still not hate each other. And so there we go. Anyway, that's what John Greenwald does, and he got a huge 2 million pages of FOIA documents, a lot of it on UFOs, MK Ultra, stuff like this. So yeah, definitely good stuff. Okay, so there we go. Where this comes from, and here's a couple of examples of the documents. I'm going to post them in the chat here, and you guys can check it out if you want to go to his archive and see some of these things. He's got them right there on right on the website. And like you said, he's getting hit hard by all the media coverage, and they're talking about who knows? John Greenwald Jr. is his name. If anybody's looking, somebody asked in the chat there. So let's see, just a couple documents here from UFO and the CIA, the UFOs and the CIA from John Greenwald and the FOIA. So here we go, just kind of linking them so everybody can check it out real fast. Let's see. Hold on just one moment, please, and then we'll keep on moving here. Let's see. John says that's John on Facebook. That's why I really haven't paid attention to the documents that were dumped. I think interestingly, so there's a document dump they're talking about. I know Benjamin sent me one, and he was trying to get me to contact him, but it was just too close to showtime. But they're saying that at least I'm hearing from some sources that there's a document dump of WikiLeaks, and I haven't confirmed or denied that yet. I cannot confirm or deny the Glomar response if you know, but I just don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. So you know how information can be disinformation. So I kind of don't want to talk about that until I know a little bit more about it. So as you know, as we always do, as this develops, we will add it to a show in the future, or we'll talk about it on the news show or any of the rest. We got tons and tons of content, guys. You can kick back, press play, listen to all kinds of stuff. All right, so all right. Now let me just play a couple clips. Now this is from about 9 months ago, and this is what they were talking about in the United Kingdom regarding I think in Scotland or Ireland as well. They were talking about disclosure in this form. So let's play just a few clips here. And this is a conversation that was had, I think it was 8 months ago when this actually hit. So this is kind of leading us into some of these other things that are being said today. So not just the news breaking with John Greenwald and these, quote, CIA UFO documents. There's more here. This is a thing that's been happening with TTSA, Tom DeLonge. We've covered them ad nauseum. We've talked about that whole Nimitz incident way too much, and we're kind of getting away from that. But here we go. This is kind of the conversation as it was going about 8 months ago regarding this. So let's play a few of these clips and then keep on trucking. Once again, I'm going to put the phone number up. If you guys want to be part of the show, you can be. This is live. It's Tuesday night. We're talking about UFOs, the CIA, and the data dump that supposedly happened. And So 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and let's play this clip.
So some very interesting new developments from former.
That's the wrong one.
That
this
clip.
one.
The other one. The other one. That one.
The other one. That was the
I
wrong
knew
one.
it.
We'll get to that.
I knew
later.
exactly what's what happened.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Now we're going to get to this one. Action.
They were travelling backwards and forwards to Earth in some forms of exotic craft with engines. Then we'd have a superhighway out there travelling backwards and forwards. Now, what did the SETI scientists say? They quoted, "Space is unusually quiet." Unusually quiet. They're not seeing any traffic out there. They're seeing very little out there. The fact is we asked the question, how are they getting here? And what we're actually seeing from videos and photographs and people who are witnessing these is these things are jumping in and jumping out. They're coming in and out all around the planet. And so what we think is that they're actually utilising what is already here. They've always been here. Always been here. It's an age-old phenomenon.
Is there any place in Ireland that's not haunted, by the way?
Yeah, pretty much. We've got a long history, so there's always something going on.
Could you guys give me your take on recent developments? The last 14 months, it's been an amazing sea change for people who've been in the field for a long time. The revelations, the New York Times, the ATIP program, the OSAP program, and now TTSA that's trying to move the ball.
It is, yeah, and that's absolutely great work that they're doing that.
How is that viewed, all of this, in a big mix, viewed from your side?
Well, from our side, really, what we initially thought was, our first thing was everybody got amnesia. I mean, we were told many years ago, the government don't investigate UFOs, right. What's happening here, you know? And that gets overlooked very easily, you know? People should be pointing the finger and saying, well, why are we being told that you're not investigating ufology and that there is no national security when clearly there is? That should come full circle, because this is what we've been told throughout the world, just as we have done in the UK. Now, what was very interesting is that we've been coming forward with more and more information being given out to the general public. For me, I see a stepping like a stage, because we're aware that there has been this drip feed process of ufology within the subject, passed out to the individuals of the world to educate us in the aspect of UFOs, aliens coming to Earth. We've had it since the B movies of the old days.
Yeah, so interesting. So there's a few more clips here. It sounds like that's George Knapp. I actually didn't realize this was George Knapp. It sounds like he's interviewing these folks from the United Kingdom and from Ireland. And notice what he said there. He said that we've had some amnesia here. It's like it's like we haven't been talking about UFOs since the 40s, right? 1947 in Roswell, right? He's kind of describing what's happening with the technocrats and kind of rewriting history in real time. Somehow, all the UFO conversations get reframed around Tom DeLonge now, right, and around his crew and his team. And it's like, what? Like, this is not new stuff. I've said this a lot. One of my huge criticisms of them is they're not bringing us any real new stuff. It's all the old. It's the old stuff. It's the same old crap we've been talking about for a very long time. And these guys have a fantastic point there. What do you think about that? If you're there,
yeah, I'm here. I have to listen to it on the YouTubes, but yeah, it kind of goes back to like the truth is kind of already there, and we're just waiting for confirmation, and for them to pick which one based on maybe hopefully the truth or based on whatever kind of narrative that fits their security, military, corporate agenda, and it's crazy that we've been kind of at it. And if you've had a natural curiosity, like you look up in the sky and you understand how big the universe is, you know that there's the aliens exist, and if you keep going, then logically they're here. They should be somewhere. So you start looking into it. There's all these stories, abductions, UFOs, whistleblowers, and it's just filled with disinformation, but it still has been pursued rigorously. So, we have all these narratives, all these stories, all this content in the air, and here comes this group, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's like amnesia. It's like none of that shit happened. Oh, but now it did. Now it happened because we say so. I haven't been in this game very long, but I imagine it's super frustrating for people who've been in the game for a long time, and they've been doing good work trying to uncover the truth and whatever. So it's nice that this guy gets some acknowledgement. The Black Vault, they're getting links toward it, but 60 years of silence, and all of a sudden we're ramping up here. And why?
Yeah, exactly. What the question is, why? Why now, right? Why right now do we get all this weird UFO information in the last several days? Like we've had some UFO news over on the news show there too. So anyway, let's go to part 2 of this, and we'll talk about this as we go. But that's something to think about, guys. Why now? Why right now is suddenly all this UFO stuff being pushed to the front of the news headlines? Of course, you're not going to see Fox News and CNN talking about it ad nauseum because there's so much other spicy political stuff that they're using as a cudgel for you to hate your neighbor. But what else? What's the secondary? I don't know. Like, what's the purpose of this? I guess what's really the purpose? So anyway, let's go again. Fantastic stuff here. George Knapp interviewing these two folks. I'll link this video as always. These come from YouTube videos, most of these clips, so you guys can check this stuff out. And as always, transparency 100% important. I'll have links to all this stuff. I'll actually pull it up in just a sec here and share it with everybody. But here we go. Part 2 of this and this conversation regarding. Now again, remember this is 8 months ago in the UK, right? So they're kind of talking about. UFO disclosure in the last 10, 12, 14 months, 8 months ago. Then we're going to get to this current week and some of the crazy stuff that we've heard this week. Literally this week. It's been insane. So here we go. Part 2, George Knapp interviewing some folks. I'm going to get the YouTube video up. I'll get you the link in just a sec. Here we go. Part 2, action.
However, it is national curriculum now in schools in the UK that they learn, and not just in the UK, Australia, and numerous other places, that the children are having to learn what UFOs constitute and what aliens are, and they're asked to draw them, and basically they put it down as some type of writing skills, some type of teachings. However, over the last 3 years in the UK, over 108 schools have actually gone one more forward by bringing in a crashed UFO, using real police officers, using real CID guys and CSI guys, and they're educating the children about the biological and the chemical hazards of UFOs when they come down and how to report them and what to do. Now, these children are 7 or 8 years old, but 108 schools in the UK have been educated on that so far. So you have to say there is this real process of educating the younger generation now. Wow. And I think the drip feed process has been going on for many years. It's everywhere. It's in our minds every single day, in cartoons, on movies, on films, on clothes, on toys, and foods, and all sorts of things. We can't get it out of our mind.
You know, the reaction from debunkers and hardcore skeptics, you could predict that to the news that the Pentagon, these revelations come out. What has surprised me is the reaction from UFO researchers. It's been hostile here, in that they don't want to believe anything, and they got to figure if Tom DeLonge is working with Lou Elizondo, they're all in the bed together and you can't trust anything. That's the hostility that surprised me.
Yeah, I can understand, because the whole thing has become mixed, and again, we spoke before about this tailspin that can be created from all this, and there is a lot of misinformation in there, because we got to look at the facts themselves, and we got to understand that our ancestors, when they were writing down, it was a pure report of what they were seeing. Today, we can't do that anymore, because not only do we have our own craft to consider, we've got them, and we've also got the people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars off fake videos on the internet that are being created in their backyard by a 12-year-old kid.
You hear all that? He says they're preparing school kids to actually be able to report a UFO and know what to do with like UFO hazmat material, right? And then there's a lot here, right? There's a lot in this that I guess the question is, right, that kind of comes to mind regarding this is, are we being prepared for something in particular? This is not normal curriculum. I'm sorry. It's just not. This is not something you would expect to teach school kids in anywhere, let alone the United Kingdom or anywhere else. So, I don't know his source for that, but, we can only trust a man and his word with that information. But that's crazy. And then the second part that caught my attention about this is he brought up the fact that at the same time, we have real UFOs in the sky, which I think if you're here listening to this show, you're not going to refute that. They're out there. All right, like the military has said they're out there. We've personally seen some ourselves. If you're here listening to this show, and so they're out there. But the thing is, how many of them are real? And right, just like you said, there's 12-year-olds in their backyard making UFO, making tons of money making fake UFO videos, right? So not only does the government not have to really worry about disinformation because we're doing it ourselves. Oh, geez, this is the conversation, right? This is the conversation. Unbelievable. But yeah, okay. So looking to hear from you guys one more time. 702-957-1037. Watching the phone lines and the Discord if you guys want to be on the show. And we're talking about UFO disclosure and how some news is kind of hitting the wire this past week. That's looking like it's going to. I don't know. It's almost looking like this is going to be a push for actual disclosure in some capacity. But I wonder. It makes me wonder if it has anything to do with the change of guard in the presidency or any of the rest of that. But anyway. As we go, 702-957-1037. Looking to hear from you. Join the Discord. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. Did you catch that clip there? What do you think about that, Ash?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's like, they're definitely, and I kind of made this argument in the past, and I honestly I've got lucky. Because they've done this before, right? They've kind of gained momentum and kind of looked like they were going to push and something was going to come, and it never does. And we've had callers, and I've listened to other people who are cynical about it at this point, and justifiably so. Like they're like, yeah, okay, and it could end like that. But you got to say that they've gone further than they've ever done before, and any push forward is the tip of the spear. It's the furthest we've ever gone. So we are in somewhat new territory. What's interesting though is, number one, like you said, they're preparing us for something, with this new narrative, but is it the truth or isn't it? And I guess that's kind of like where a lot of UFO kind of people who've kind of been following this subject, like, are you gonna tell us the truth? Like, I know you're not gonna tell us the whole truth, right? You never will do that. You will never do that, and that's fine. But are you gonna tell us enough of the truth that you've done the right thing, or is this just something that benefits you, that a narrative that you're spinning? And what's interesting is they're taking the narrative. I mean, they're already lying right out of the gate. So that's like number one. They're saying, oh, look, there's UFOs, and they're creating this narrative around UFOs when we all damn well know that they got photos and bodies of aliens. Like, if it's aliens, the government's got photos, it's got something, and it's just pretending like it doesn't know. And it's not true. It's not true. Like, from all the crashes and the people kind of slipping out information, it's not true. They have it. They know at least a portion of it, right? They probably don't know all of it, and that I could about bet my money on. But they've got a freaking body. They've got a picture, and so is this like intelligence agencies battling each other to kind of push the other one without actually exposing it? Are they setting up for an alien false flag, which I talk about on my YouTube channel? I go into it pretty extensively. I mean, not personally. I just provide enough content that you can cross analyze it and be like, huh, these motherfuckers, right? Like, that it's an option. If you're with these administrations changing hands, if you're following politically, they're fighting each other, right? Like, over dominance of America, while China's trying to get dominant. All you got to do is, there's an alien invasion, and then you just freaking take out your competition in that catastrophe. And I'm doing air quotes, or that false flag. So it's like a tool in the socio-psychopath game. So is that what they're getting ready for? I don't know. And it's the thing, you don't know. And I don't know. He's just been lied to for so long. I'm positive. I want to learn anything, freaking anything, and I think that over time the truth will come out. So I'm not like being super negative about it, like in that way. It's just usually when it comes to the government, I'm pretty negative because they're not incentivized to do the right thing. They're incentivized to do the most optimal.
or the wrong thing. Well, let's just be real.
Yeah.
The wrong thing. Let's cut to the chase. Yeah, exactly. We got a phone call we'll take in just a sec. Couple quick shout outs before we do. We got what's up, many subjects I see there. What's up, Penny? Everybody follow the Curious Bunny on YouTube. What's up, Penny from the UK? I was on her show last Saturday. I will also be on her show again this Saturday. Do go follow that channel, please. Lots of good information over there. Free speech, most important. Everything over there, open ideas, and kind of talking about all these things. So go check it out. Good stuff. And let's see, who else do we got? There's more on Facebook. Let's see, where did my damn Facebook window go? So what happens when you have like 77 windows open? Let's see. All right. Let's see. Tamron, what's up? Thanks for being here. Joanne says, beam me up. I'm ready. What's up, John from Jones Cove, Tennessee? Thanks for showing up tonight. Johnny, that's all I hear. I got you. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Who else am I missing? What's up, Joe? I see you there. Lots of good chat. Keep the chat coming, guys. We were going to take this phone call. Did you say you couldn't hear the stuff on through Discord there, Ash? There's something wrong? You had to go listen to the
I have to watch the video. It's not a big deal. You just got to give me a few seconds when it ends to kind of catch up. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
Actually, hold on. Yeah.
No. Don't touch anything, Mike.
You sure?
Please don't touch anything. Please, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. Okay. Yeah. We don't have the other problems. So none of those are just this little thing. I could live with that. Totally,
right.
No problem.
Okay. So then this caller may not be able to hear you and vice versa. So anyway, I'm going to take this call and then let's do it. What's up, Jay from New York? You're on Troubled Minds. How you doing, my man? How you doing tonight? Testing 1 2. Oh crap! You know what I did? I muted that tab.
All kinds, yeah.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
But wow, man, what are you trying to do? Make me go to Walmart and buy them out of tinfoil and make new hats? I mean,
nah, man, nah.
This is crazy. Like, I'm old, so when we were kids and stuff like that, and you were reading books about aliens or something like that, other kids made fun of you. You know, nobody talked. Oh, we heard a guy talking on ham radio. How he saw something. You know, everybody saw it, but that guy actually saw what it was when it was off. Oh, you can't listen to that guy. He's nuts. You know, it was just a weather balloon or swamp gas or whatever. How much of that redacted stuff that's in those files that you were putting up on the Discord there? What about the hardware store owner that was having a picnic with his wife or something like that they put out of business because, no, you can't tell people that now. You know, now they're dumping all of it on us in the middle of all the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
they got to be hiding something big.
Well, the timing is weird. I'll give it that. I wonder if it's a partial distraction from all the political drama going on, because there's a lot. Like, you could spend all day, every day, just kind of following all the political drama and trying to untangle
your show
it.
Could be from like 12:01 until 12.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All day, every
for sure.
day.
Yeah. Like everybody laughs at Alex Jones.
How do you guys do this? How do you and Ash come up with all this info?
Hey,
man.
How
do you guys do that? Do
you keep
people helping you, or is this
no? This is just us, man. You keep an eye on the ground.
We're crazy.
Yeah, we're crazy people. No, I mean, like, as long as you pay attention to the right circles, then you can see it when it gets released. You know, you pay close attention to the news cycles. You see what kind of comes out in groups together, and like, after doing it for so long, you start to get good at it. And so that's what we do, man. Like, I can throw a show together in no time because you just kind of scan the news cycle and see what's happening, and bam, you can say, okay, well, this is kind of what's leaking out quickly, even like with velocity, to try and get in front of people's faces. It kind of tips their hand a little bit. So what's behind it, I don't know. I can't give you that answer, but I can tell you that the velocity that some of this stuff comes out is interesting. Let's say that's a good word. We'll call it interesting. But yeah. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, we're getting the videos of the guy down in Virginia Beach we talked about earlier before, 3 or 4 times ago. He brought his phone up when he was flying his jet. And what the hell is this? You know, where are those videos? Why do we get to see stuff from 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, but we don't get to see the stuff from yesterday?
Yeah. Agreed. I couldn't agree more.
Federation that the Israeli guy was talking about. Can't the newspaper for that thing be on the same thing next to USA Today?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if there's really that thing that's going on Earth, or wherever, or we're a part of it, or shouldn't we be allowed to read that? I want to be able to vote for the guy that's, supporting us in that whole. Who is this guy that's supporting us in that? Who are these people?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Connections with all that,
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know, but regarding all this, I don't know. Like we're going to continue talking about it tonight. Clearly, we have some other clips and some interesting things. You may be surprised at some of the things that are happening this week, like regarding UFOs. Like there's a lot of press, a lot of things that kind of came out and went viral in certain instances. And remember, the virality of things, like I say, the velocity of information as it comes out is it's no accident. Like these things are. Kind of coming out with the technocratic, finely tuned algorithms that push them in front of people's faces, right? They push them to people's smartphones. They push them to the front of the newswire. They put them on Google News. You know what I mean? They push them to the front on YouTube. Like there's no accident with this stuff. Like there are concerted efforts.
It's on the radio station when you're driving in the car in the mountains.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Put it on the radio. Yeah, TV, all the rest of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's everywhere.
Yeah.
We've got the virus going on. We've got the election crap going on. We've got all the crap in the world going on. The people coming out today saying that we've been at war with Iran for years, and it's like, wow. Now you want to drop the alien bomb on us? The one girl, Epichrome or whatever, put a countdown clock up there for me.
Oh, yeah.
4 months,
Bailey.
28 days, 4 hours.
Thank you, Bailey. Thank you, Bailey, for the countdown clock for the 6 months to disclosure. Appreciate that. If you can share that website, I'll spread
awesome.
it out.
That was awesome. I laughed so much. But it's like, wow, and it's like, okay, today's the day, the first day that Trump has speeches on TV and the internet and everything else like that since they shut him off. Today was the first day that he actually gave a speech anywhere, and today is actually the first day that they decide that, hey, we're going to dump all this stuff on all these tinfoil hat guys so they can start going through it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder,
they're not
right?
going through this other stuff.
It makes you wonder. It definitely makes you wonder.
But really, I don't care about the election because I'm just a stupid carpenter, man,
Hey man, I'm similar. I'm just a knucklehead on the internet with a microphone. So, but it's guys like us that make up this country, that make up this world, man. Just because we're nobodies doesn't mean we're not somebodies. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man.
You're gonna call me up at 4:00 at night when a tree falls on your house and see what I could do about it.
There you go. Exactly. All right, we're gonna keep on moving, man. Final thought while we got you on the phone.
Just wow! I'm gonna buy Walmart out of the tinfoil. I'm telling you. I don't know if I need a suit or just a hat or what it is. I mean, the way that they're throwing this stuff at us, cutting off the internet and all that. Be positive. Take care. We're going to be living in villages again, where your neighbors and stuff like that are going to be infomercial. What is the thing called?
InfoWars.
It's a YouTube. No, not InfoWars. It's a stupid cartoon thing they have on the Facebook that gives you like a stupid story about anything from the Pope to Hitler to the Aztecs to aliens and everything else like that. Today, their post is how the U.S. military would beat an alien invasion. Was the one that they put up today for the one for you to watch. Every day they put up 2 or 3, and one of the ones that they put up was how the United States beat an alien invasion.
Nice. Hey, if you can,
just like
can you please share that to the Discord? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you when I get back on. It's really hard for me to go back and forth because my internet has been really funky from the kids' Zoom meetings for school because we're not in school right now, to even text messages and stuff like that. Our power's gone out a couple of times. It's just like the internet just goes down for like an hour. No internet. You get nothing. Not on the phone, not through the server with Spectrum. You get nothing. It's just down for an hour.
That's a little weird.
It's something to do with line. Somebody hit a pole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So our internet is really crazy. It takes me a minute to get back to it, but I'll look it up for you and I'll send it to you.
I appreciate it, my man. Jay from New York, you're the best. I appreciate the call. Have a good night, okay?
All right. You too, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. There you go. If you want to be part of the show, it's as simple as that. You pick up the phone, you dial the phone number, you get on the show. You can talk to me, you can talk to Ash, you can talk to whoever might be listening, and you never know who might be listening. You never know. Like I said, the podcast stats, I bring this up from time to time. There's people in China listening to this show. How bizarre is that? But it's happening. So you never know who might be listening. But anyway, if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. TroubledMinds.org is the official website, and you can find the phone number and the Discord link right on top of the page. Can't miss it. It's pretty much the first thing you see if you don't get distracted by all the aliens and stuff on the page. So there we go. There we go. Bailey says probably the CCP, and I concur, probably. All right. I know, Ash, you were able to hear that. I don't know if he was able to hear you. Comments on the call there?
It's a good call. I mean, just continuing off of 2020, it's like, tomorrow's going to be a big announcement on the Chupacabra, and how it's won the election for France, and that it thinks Trump is bad or something like that. I don't know. It's gonna, it's a crazy time, and honestly, it's like these corporations, these organizations, if there's not really an incentive to do something, they kind of don't. There might be some white hat organizations that kind of pursue information. If they don't view it as a loss of strength or power or leverage, then they'll release it, right? But this is ramping up. And so there's kind of like two paths forward, I see. And what the fuck do I know? But after looking into this kind of stuff, there seems to be, they're preparing for narrative. And I was saying this before, like you were saying, and now's the time to kind of shoehorn people into one path or another. And so maybe the whole world, all the elites are in on it. Maybe they're not. Maybe the American military wants to kind of move forward with their kind of thing, but Europe doesn't, and there's conflict or whatever. So it's hard to kind of discern the world stage, especially like if you're just like doing your job, you're just a normal person. You can't really keep track of all this crap all at the same time. I spend a little bit more time, I would say, than the average person, and I get even more confused. So, if you don't have like military intelligence and stuff, it's kind of hard to like know what the hell is really going on. And yeah, so I was saying is, it seems like we're kind of moving forward, and the question is it going to be a nothing burger? Are they just kind of like, priming us, maybe just in case, maybe not, or does this seem like they're preparing us, or are they preparing us for a false flag where, they can kind of like roll the world into a new world order, right? The military is somewhat starved of a bad guy right now. For hating, if you hate Trump or not, I don't care. But during his administration, we've had, after the first 2 years, we've had less war. So like, there's no bad guy. There's no pressing bad guy for the military industrial complex to make money off of. And so I heard they admitted they said they were spending like billions of dollars to chase like 12 dudes in the desert. That's like something a general admitted, or 20 dudes in a desert, whatever. It's still like ridiculous. So and we fund those terrorists, and we kind of create these bad guys, whether it's on purpose or not. But there was in my episode, I did research this. They were saying that there's going to be a list of threats, and so that guy who claimed that, right, and since he doesn't say that shit anymore, he works. He's of the know, right? What he said, it's possible that it really happened, and this is what he said. He said there's going to be terrorists in the Middle East. Then it was going to be rogue nations, right? And that literally was happening with North Korea and whatever, Iran, right? And that's kind of like a potential opposition for America right now. They just came out today and announced that Iran is a threat, or yesterday or something, by Mike Pompeo. And then the next ones were going to be, rogue nations, and then asteroids is the next one. And I literally clipped like CNN talking about asteroids, and they're just literally priming us, for that. And then the final trump card, Warner von Braun has always talked about, is the alien invasion. And Warner von Braun said to his secretary, that it's all bullshit. It'll be bullshit. And there's been leaks of them testing like holograms in the sky to see how the public reacts, and they put stuff out there and they pull it back. And it's totally possible. And if they have this technology that we kind of get wind of, then it's so easy to just stage an invasion. But why now? Why would the aliens invade now? It's perfect timing. So if there isn't perfect timing
for the Great Reset, perfect timing.
Exactly. And these guys, I'm under the impression that the New World Order is like the elites have decided that's like where we're going to move forward, but it seems as if they're disagreeing what that's going to look like, right? So if you got the alien tech, you're like, all right, I'm done arguing false flag alien invasion, and then you just force it your way, right? You're already prepared. You already know what's going to happen. You make your strikes in the right places. Let's say France wasn't going along with it. You just make sure that France is like fucking wiped off the map when you do it. And there you go.
Is that how you stop dissent? You just wipe them off the map.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do it, I mean, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get you banned. But during a previous false flag with like towers, all this shit happened that day. That was my first like conspiracy theory I looked into. All this shit happened this day, and I came to the conclusion that different factions knew it was going to happen, and all of them took advantage of it in different ways. And so then when you look at it that way, you're like, oh, okay. Because there's like a bank that got robbed that day, a third building fell, a lot of weird shit. So whether it was like a false flag or not, different factions knew. So it could be the same thing where this is like a catalyst. Like COVID is a perfect catalyst for this new world order, for this great reset to kind of destroy the economy, usher in a new currency. Anyway, I've been rambling on long enough, so
you're good, bro.
I don't want to go down. My tinfoil hat's getting taller and taller. Sorry, guys.
Right, you're good. You're good. All right. A few shout outs, folks showing up fashionably late. I love fashionably late because, well, I do that myself. Dan from Michigan, thanks for being here tonight. Axel Steele in the chat. What's up, buddy? Thanks for showing up. Axel has a funny comment, and he says, if we get invaded by aliens, I am selling you all out as quickly as possible. Traitor! Traitor to humanity. Yeah, let's see. Who else do we got? Joanne, hello. Thanks for being here. I think I already said hello. Let's see. Who else do we got? Who else did I miss?
I said that to I posted I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on, but it looks like the CCP's winning. And so I posted in Chinese, like, I love the springtime of China and the CCP part. I'm gonna switch. Like, I know what's coming, so I'm switching right away.
Switching parties, man.
Swear loyalty to the CCP party. So,
Axel also adds need to justify the budget somehow, and that's a good funny comment as well. Okay, so
exactly.
So we're talking about aliens, guys. We're talking about disclosure and how this is a bunch of news just kind of hit the wire tonight. Just not just tonight, but also over the past week with Avi Loeb, and he's released a book, and back to that Oumuamua stuff. We'll get to that a little bit later as we talk about this. But there's apparently a CIA release of alien documents, which apparently is not new, but somehow, some reason, the press has picked it up and run with it, and now it's all over the damn news cycle, and I don't know what to make of it because this information is not new. Like, we've combed through some of these CIA documents in the past and done shows exclusively on documents like this, and so unless there's some brand new thing that came out, which I'm not aware of, it's peculiar. It's peculiar the way this information kind of trickles out or just comes screaming out, and it makes you wonder. Is Project Bluebeam in full effect, and the fake alien invasion is happening? Or let's pick the second foot up out of the real world, and is the real alien invasion happening? Is that what's going on? I have no idea. Again, If you've listened to the show for any length of time, this is not the answer show. This is the question show. So it's up to you to decide the answers to those things. I do not know. There is no arbiter of truth, in my opinion, and that's why the conversations are the most important thing. So that's what we do here. That's why we do it. If you want to be part of the show, we also do it live to include you. Here we go. As we continue, we're going to play a little bit more of this. I want to read the phone number one more time, play a couple more clips, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about more aliens and disclosure and the rest of this.
Yes, more aliens.
We love it. We love it. We love it. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Can you tell I've done that 1,000 times? Troubledminds.org is the official website. Phone number and the Discord link is there. Come join us. Come join the Discord. Come hang out with us. A great community. Lots of smart people there. Lots of great link sharing and ideas. And the only rule is don't be a dick. That's the only rule. That's it. One rule: don't be a dick, right? Be open-minded, don't be a dick, and we're good to go. All right. So let's see. Let's continue with these clips. 2 more clips with this George Knapp interview. I linked from the YouTube where this came from. 2 clips. We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to keep talking about aliens. Part 3, action.
So we've got all those things to contend with, and I can totally understand where they're coming from. And that's why we need to ground ourselves a little bit more, prepare and work on it, and understand that good science starts with observation.
I mean, you would say it's a positive step that now we know about this Pentagon program, that the media, news media, New York Times and others here anyway, and I'm sure it's true there, are covering it in a somewhat serious vein.
Absolutely, yeah. It lets us know that they're prepared to take us to the next stage, a little bit more acceptance. I mean, generally, you do a survey, most people say, well, yeah, kind of, I believe in UFOs. But now it's the realism of that, hey guys, here's the video, this is unknown, we don't know what it represents. So it brings it a little bit more realism to this. So I have to ask the question, what's next? Because we can't go on forever adding a stone to the mountain we've already got with videos and information, because there are thousands and they all go on for a long, long time. But are we really getting to the point as to where they're coming from, how they're getting here? Those are the important things. I mean, we've spent a long time in ufology. Ufologists have been at this for forever, trying to get those principal answers. And the problem is that things have come in left, right and centre and clouded all everything. And a lot of people have been purposely turned against each other and researchers. And I think it just causes this problem of us advancing this subject.
I think it really is a situation where we need to keep our heads down and keep it away from this top area where there's a lot of nonsense going on, and really concentrate on the task at hand, because eventually us humans are going to figure it out.
One last question. The Ministry of Defense in the UK has been almost as duplicitous as the Pentagon, we're releasing the files. We're really releasing the files this time. Boy, you can count on us. This is it. This is all we've got.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, it's just making them look like they're being transparent, George. They're not. And we know from our own case files, we've been in the subject for over 30 years each.
Yeah, right, exactly. So the information has been coming out regarding UFOs for a long time. Let's play this last one just to finish this up before we take a quick break, and then we'll get into the stuff. This is a clip from this is an interview with George Knapp, and he's interviewing these folks from the United Kingdom and I think it's Scotland, Ireland, I don't know. Call me a knucklehead for not knowing the difference. I do know the difference. I can't tell the accent, basically, is what I'm saying here. So anyway, part 4 of this, and then we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're still talking about UFO disclosure and how it's kind of hitting the newswire right now, and what that maybe means in a larger news cycle when clearly the political stuff is completely off the rails 100%. So you got to be able to do more than one thing at a time to figure out the technocrats and the government and Operation Mockingbird and the media and the whole deal, right? You got to be able to juggle a few things and kind of keep the eye on the ball. So we're talking about why maybe this is happening now. Here we go, part 4 of this, and then we're going to move on to what's happening now, today, this week. This is, again, a part 4 from about 8 months ago, talking about disclosure, action.
When we provided information to the Ministry of Defence in regarding real incidents, real cases which involve police officers, those have not been released. Now, they might come forward and say, we've released everything, and then 6 months later, we found a few more under the carpet. And this is what tends to be happening. They shut the doors to the general public. You can't report a UFO now to the Ministry of Defence. Now, people often wonder, well, what's the process of reporting now? Unfortunately, we can't rely that UFO reports land on our desk anymore. We have to look on the internet for them. But the internet is full of problems. It's full of fake news and videos. So what we're doing is we're being forced to have to look in places where we wouldn't really like to look. And then what's basically happening is now they've done that, and are often saying that now we've released everything. We know they're holding back on the good stuff. They're not going to be releasing them anytime soon.
National security cases they wouldn't release. Right?
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I think from the work that we're doing now, we're able to go back and look at some of the older cases, which a lot of people threw out. The historical cases, and from the work that we're doing and using the satellites and everything else, we're now able to see the likes of Colaris, for instance. There is actual supporting evidence to suggest Colaris could have happened. More to the point, why? Because there was a biological implication that was being created from what the Colaris UFOs were doing to the people, and what we see also through our the reporting in the old manuscripts of old, and understanding the paranormal phenomena, the ufology, and seeing this combination come together. There was a reason that those people were being hit with lasers.
Yeah.
Hit with lasers, right? If you go back and you look at some of the old UFO actual accounts, especially in Brazil, there's a one we did. We actually talked about it in the episode we did with the Brazil UFO crash that happened recently. But if you go back a little bit further in time, there's actually military documentation suggesting that people were attacked in Brazil by UFOs and hit with laser beams, right? Like from Austin Powers. Laser beams, right? Exactly like that. So anyway, kind of the stuff he was referencing. And again, this is about 8 months ago, talking about disclosure. We're going to get into disclosure today. All right after the break here. 2 minutes, go stretch your legs, refresh your beverage, grab some popcorn, tuck the kids in bed, whatever's going on. You got a quick 2-minute break. We're going to play some sweet 80s music, and we will be right back. I'm Michael Strange. This is Troubled Minds. I'm here with Ash the Reptilian from Mars, and we're talking UFOs. Hang tight. 2 minutes. Be right back. I tell you what, there's nothing better than the 80s. I tell you what. All right, welcome back. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with Ash the Reptilian from Mars. We're talking about UFO disclosure. We're talking about the the flood of UFO information that kind of hit the newswire today, oddly enough. And not only that, it's kind of hot on the heels of a bunch of other UFO information that was news recently, which again, if you're we don't do the news on this show anymore in particular, like kind of we used to do like a wide-ranging kind of a news discussion in the beginning to kind of parse the news cycle and look at propaganda and, you know, just kind of point things out, have some fun, but there was too much to talk about. And so we peeled that off. It's an entirely other show. You can catch that on Twitch. It's called Conspiracy News with Michael Strange, and we talk about just the news. It's kind of quick hits of what's going on and keeping an eye on the propaganda and the news cycle and actually looking at real news, real science news and some other things, you know, AI and, you know, there's a ton of good stuff to talk about. But of course, right, the mainstream, if they can't use it as a political cudgel to stick in your neck and make you hate your neighbor, they ain't talking about it. So we're doing it. We think that humanity is better than that. And as a result, you get Troubled Minds Radio. And you also get Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. So check us out on Twitch. That is a new show that's debuted this month, and it's been fantastic, over 20 episodes now. And it's a lot of good conversation over there as well. I do it in a similar format, just kind of shorter, like an hour each day. We go 5 days a week. So if you love this content, if you love these types of conversations, if you love all of this stuff and you really despise the mainstream media, you're in the right place. Because guess what? We do too. And also, did I mention transparency is important? If you want to be part of the show tonight, we're talking about UFO disclosure. We're talking about John Greenwald's documents, the CIA supposedly released documents on UFOs. And then we're going to get into some other stuff. Maybe what John Brennan said, what some of the other actual officials said recently regarding UFOs. And also, maybe from what Harvard professor Avi Loeb just released a book. A lot of interesting UFO things coming out in the last week or so. Week, 10 days maybe, but it's kind of culminating in today, I think. And again, I wasn't sure what to talk about today, but then as we were doing the news show, it's like, what the hell? Like, why is all this UFO stuff hitting the news wire? So here we are. And if you want to be part of that conversation, please call this phone number. It's a Las Vegas area code, 702-957-1037. You can also join the Discord, which is a chat and a voice client. You can get a direct invite if you go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Click the Discord link. Phone number is on the website as well, right on top. You can't miss it. The Conspiracy News Show is there. All the stuff is there. All the links are there. Everything is there. One place. If you ever wonder, I wonder what happened to Mike. He got taken down off of the internet and all the places. Go to the website, troubledminds.org. There will be announcements there. And if you have not joined the Discord, I will announce it there first. I'm most active there, and you can connect with me and all kinds of other smart people. All right. Ash, you there, buddy? You get your alien popcorn? What's going on over there? Maybe not.
Just hanging in here, Mike. Just no, I'm here. Yeah. Oh. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I'm hanging in there. Just just listening to you do your thing, brother. Right. You've gotten pretty good at it.
Doing the thing. Hey, man.
Getting a lot.
Just a little advice to anybody, and I know when you give advice that people don't want, they're like STFU, right? Well, just fail a lot, and then eventually you get good at something. So if you don't believe me, go back to the very beginning and listen. Anyway, all right. So welcome back, Ash the Reptilian. You get your alien popcorn. I hope everything's well over there.
Yeah. I'm doing good. You know, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, you know, we're going good, but I know I missed the beginning of the show, but I guess what are we talking about, right? We're talking about a data dump, right? Did that happen? So that happened today. And I don't know. Do you have some links you want to get into it, like into that specifically? Like let's look at it, right?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
What was it?
All right, so the actual data dump here, as they're saying, okay, and I don't think there's a data dump. So here we go. We're going to go to one of our good buddies, Jeremy Corbell. He doesn't know who we are, and that's okay, but we love him just the same. He posted this on Instagram and actually linked it to his Twitter. So let's take a look at what he had to say regarding all of this supposed data dump that just happened regarding UFOs. Okay, so I wonder. So I haven't looked into the WikiLeaks thing, but I wonder if this is a smokescreen for that. Just kind of a thought here. But okay, anyway. So this is Jeremy Corbell posted this regarding this alien CIA UFO data dump, and he said this right on Instagram. Let's see. So the headline right here on Motherboard reads: "You can now easily download all CIA UFO documents to date." All right. And so they linked back to what's his name? John Greenwald Jr. Sorry, couldn't remember, from the Black Vault, who again is fantastic, has done a ton of FOIA work over the years. Over 10,000 FOIA requests, 2 million pages of government documents regarding not just UFOs, all kinds of other sweet stuff, okay, MK Ultra, and all kinds of other embarrassing things the government doesn't want to get out. All right, so anyway, now Jeremy Corbell kind of chimed in with this post here. Let's read this. He says, okay, so regarding the headline, which is you can now easily download all CIA UFO documents to date. He says, not exactly. The CIA documents that are subject to FOIA requests do not contain much of substance. I wish they did, but they don't. Understand, the CIA wasn't just going to do some UFO data dump for the good of humanity. Everything digitized was already public record, albeit constructed to be difficult to search. But I want to make sure false news is not propagated willfully. This is not like the CIA just all of a sudden decided to release all its UFO info. A little history lesson. Remember what happened when the United States Congress requested all the info on MK Ultra and MK Delta, which was U.S. torture, bio, and psycho weapons programs. Remember what happened to the files. What happened is the CIA director Richard Helms ordered that all MK Ultra and MK Delta files be destroyed, and the documents were destroyed. We were lucky to get a couple dozen thousand documents, and that was only because they were improperly filed initially and found later. Point is, there's nothing in the publicly released CIA UFO files that the CIA doesn't want you to know. Simple as that. And it's not all the CIA UFO documents as is being reported, not even by a long shot. He says, remember, FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act, FOIA is only as good as the classification of the project. Special access programs, the SAPs, are not subject to FOIA or to congressional inquiry. And historically, there are ways of eliminating information from the get-go. Just keep that in mind. He says, so what does that mean for the Senate intelligence bill that was just signed for 2021? Demanding UFO reports from our intel groups? He says, stay tuned. Let's get into it. So there you go. There's a statement from Jeremy Corbell, and what do you think about that? He's saying that the information we have is clearly because they want us to have it. So he's implying heavily, even saying outright that it's just the good stuff. It's the good stuff they're hiding, and we're just getting the leftover garbage here. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard about all the crashes and all that stuff, and we get wind of reverse engineering technology. I mean, I've heard some really, really detailed and fascinating stories about alien reproduction vehicles and all this technology. And the military would have every incentive to keep that stuff secret and to keep the kind of alien narrative secret. And you got to look, guys, how are they kind of pushing the narrative? What are they releasing? So currently, it's just all like UFO kind of stuff, right? Basically, like, you know, if there's a secret, it's not coming out. If they really don't want it to come out, it's not going to come out. So, you know, our American government, we live in a world of kind of like goody two shoes, and then like, so it's kind of almost like a fantasy land in a sense where our governments, like, they do bad stuff, what we would consider bad stuff, but for them it's necessary. These are just options. What is it? There's like no rules of engagement. There's no rules in love and war. And so, you know, like, for instance, in World War II, when the Japanese attacked us, Japan had no choice because we cut off their oil reserves. We made a strategic move to keep the oil from going to their country. So they were cut off, and they're on a freaking island, so they need to get the oil from somewhere else. So we forced them to make a move, and it turns out we knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen, but we let it happen. So anything that the military, the CIA do is going to be of strategic value. Or it's not of value and they just don't give a shit. And so it comes out. So these things are either they're pushing us in the direction they want us to go, or they don't, it's not important. and it's one of those two for sure, 100%. Yeah, and it just goes back to like if they're pushing us somewhere, it's almost better if they don't care. Like maybe they're not telling us because they have technology and they need to keep their technical edge. Like America would want to keep its edge over the CCP, and you can see why right now, right? And you can almost like if you were in those shoes, you would come to the same conclusion. Like we can't. But like, is that the reason, or is it? Is it more, I guess, nefarious from our perspective? So
I don't know. To me, it sounds come on, Ash. It sounds like you're justifying government violence to me. What's going on with that, buddy? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it's when you're not in those shoes. So it's like, would you do X? These are tough things, and this is like the public is shielded from these things. It's like, would you let the CCP take over the world and like, you know what I mean? Take over and basically enslave all of humanity under its control for potentially 1,000 years, or do you like blow up a few buildings? You know what I'm saying? Those are hard choices.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I'm not saying that's the choice. I'm just saying like,
let me
we're
get
shielded from that shit.
Let me get you off the hook because I was just kind of being antagonistic there. It was an unnecessary.
You're like, oh yeah, Ash would do crimes against humanity.
Exactly. I'm like, watch this. Ash is going to squirm. No. Okay. So okay. So now here's the crazy part.
I'm just trying to be nice, not sound like an asshole. It's okay. I am an asshole. I just, I guess
I'm trying to make it sound like
bring down the mood.
Yeah,
it's cool if you guys find out.
Exactly. Right. We're all human after all. Okay, so now, all right. So back to aliens and all of this stuff, right? The thing is, we have some recent comments regarding the UFO disclosure, right? They've come from John Brennan. They've come from Mike Pompeo. They've come from there's a ton of information that's kind of coming out. This Avi Loeb stuff with talking about Oumuamua, which we'll get to in a sec. There's like Nick Pope has been all over the place talking about aliens, and it's been on Tucker Carlson and all kinds of stuff, right? It is out there. It is in your face, and they are pressing this. And so the thing that again bothers me about this stuff is to what end? Okay, so are the aliens here and we know about it? Are they not? Is this part of the setup for the Great Reset and the false flag alien invasion, otherwise known as Project Bluebeam? Right? Is this what's going on here? I don't know. Right? But again, to actually be able to understand what's happening, I think you have to keep all of those things in mind as a possibility, right? Like talking about these things is one thing, but being able to actually consider them. What did Aristotle say, right? Considering the possibility of something without, I don't know, I just botched it, is the mark of an educated mind, right? Considering the possibility of something without actually accepting it is the mark of an educated mind, something like that, right? And it's true. You have to be able to kind of look at these things, whether you believe them or not, and take them as possibilities and kind of, chew the cud. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Cows, you got cows on Mars? But yeah, you know what I mean? Like kind of kick it around.
Oh man, I wish I could get a cow up here. Oh God,
can't get any cows. I figured. I thought I was teasing you. And I am. A nice hamburger. Okay, so anyway, let's play what John Brennan said, and then we'll get into some of the rest of this. And also, we're looking to hear from you. If you guys want to be part of the show tonight, just dial this phone number. Again, transparency is an important thing to us, and we firmly believe we can disagree with each other and still be friends. All right, which I know is completely opposite of what the media tells you, but trust me. Would you just trust me? It's true. This is a true thing. We can disagree and be friends. All right. And if you want to do that, or we can agree, or
F you, Mike.
Yeah, exactly, right? And we're still friends. What's up, buddy? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and troubledminds.org is the official website. You can join us there, and let us know. Let us know what you think. Again, it's us talking about this. It's Ash and I, and we had Jay call earlier, but it's not about us anymore. Like we talk about this stuff all the time. You guys know what we think by and large for the most part, right? So it's not about really making a case and trying to convince people of anything. It's really just looking at what they're saying and trying to make up our mind about it, and not just us, also you. like as evidence presents itself, I think you should be willing to change your mind. And so that's why the conversation to me is more important than anything else, and why we do this in long form and give you guys plenty of time when you call on the phone to make your points and all of that. So please, one more time, if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037, click the Discord link from minds.org. I'm super fast. Let's play a clip from John Brennan. Now, John Brennan was head of the CIA and did all kinds of nefarious shit. That's the truth. So here we go. We're going to play John Brennan, a couple clips here, and listen to the things he was saying recently. Now, this is within the last couple weeks. And so we're going to get into how all of this kind of is culminating in this weird UFO news cycle that, oddly enough, is happening, well, during the Great Reset. Here we go. John Brennan, part 1.
So some very interesting new developments from former CIA Director John Brennan. Now look, he's a liar whenever it comes to Russiagate, so take this with a grain of salt. But he was interviewed recently by a guy named Tyler Cowen, really interesting intellectual, and this is what he had to say whenever Tyler asked John Brennan about the possible existence of UFOs. Quote, "But I think some of the phenomena we're going to be seeing continues to be unexplained and might, in fact, be some type of phenomenon that is the result of something that we don't yet understand and that could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life." And as they point out, it's now not just John Brennan and Harry Reid, the Christopher Mellon, the former Assistant Secretary of Defense, has come out very publicly saying that there's a ton more evidence behind the scenes. So, look, like I said, I have to balance this with, we saw John Brennan lie about Russiagate, but I don't see a lot of incentive here in order to lie about this. In fact, the way I read the statement, Crystal, is being like, some might say it constitutes a different form of life. So, like, hinting towards it, without confirming it, being just mealy-mouthed enough where it's not going to break any big news. And the media hates the UFO story anyway. They don't take any of it very seriously, despite everything that is out there. So,
okay, so this part 1. Let's just burn through these real fast so we can get to what John Brennan is saying regarding this. And this is, of course, somebody reporting what he said. This is from The Hill. This is I'll link this, and you guys can check out this video. This is a video short, and they're talking about John Brennan talking about UFOs. Part 2. Again, John Brennan, former head of the CIA. Part 2 action.
Just the latest in a long string of recent developments now.
Yeah, well, and what all those people have in common that you just named is all of them have had, at times, access to highly classified information.
Right.
And at the very least, they're certainly not ruling it out based on what they've seen. And in fact, I mean, Harry Reid obviously has been one of the biggest proponents of doing more investigation and finding what's going on. President Trump, you got a few more weeks here in office.
He's not going to do it.
I know he's not.
I wish he was going to do it, but I just have no faith anymore. I've talked to some people around just being like, hey, is there a way I can help facilitate this and all that? And they're like, yeah, it's just, so far down on on the priority. I mean, Tucker did a segment. Tucker did a segment on UFOs, and I thought, that's basically a direct line to Trump, right? And so I was like, well, maybe that will push something in the right direction. But the problem is that even the president, and again, you should go listen to John Podesta talk about this. John Podesta was a big UFO guy.
John Podesta. Look at the names get kicked around. John Brennan, John Podesta, right? He says Tucker Carlson is a direct line to Donald Trump, he says. And he's implying heavily that possibly Donald Trump might press the disclosure as a final FU on his way out. Possible, right? I'd love to see something like that. That'd be amazing. But am I holding my breath? No. Negative. Here we go. Part 3, they're talking about John Brennan, and now they moved on to Podesta. This is the last part of this segment, these clips here, and then we'll get back to just kicking it and talking aliens. Here we go. Part 3, John Brennan, John Podesta, action.
He was former White House chief of staff. He was like, look, I tried to get information. They won't give it to me. He's like, I tried. Even with the full force of the White House and the presidency behind him, Bill Clinton has even said publicly, he's like, I'm embarrassed to say, I tried to find out, and I didn't really find anything. And so that's where we are right now. Things are so compartmentalized, keep, the nuclear secrets and all that other stuff, that they're just little drips of information sitting in the government. And a guy like John Brennan, I actually think would know. Or at least would have access to some of those, little tidbits. So That's where we are right
If
now.
anyone was going to have any sort of access to that information, it would be someone in the position of power that he was.
It's got to be somebody with access to like the raw intel, like before they bundle it all up and then send it up to the president, or cover it up, or bury it in the bureaucracy, that type of thing. And reminder, there is apparently a photo, triangle UFO, perfectly clear, crystal clear photo taken by a fighter pilot with his iPhone camera, sitting inside the intelligence community right now, just waiting to be leaked to an enterprising journalist. So if you're out there, you work in the DoD, leak it to me. I will protect your identity. Promise.
All right. Well, more right.
There you go. I'll link the YouTube video, and you guys can find out where to contact this guy if you want to give him the inside details. He promises he'll protect your identity. But okay, all right. So John Brennan basically said, hey, this could be a thing. The UFOs, right? The extraterrestrial life and the rest of this stuff, it could very well be a thing. All right. Now, I have a really hard time believing people from the CIA. I'm sorry, call it a blind spot, but I have a really, really hard time believing anybody that came out of the CIA. I just do. I'm sorry, I do. Right? And thankfully, Lou Elizondo from the TTSA and the Tom DeLonge fame and all that stuff, he didn't come out of the CIA, as far as I'm aware. But okay, so there's that. But you know what I mean? Like listening to John Brennan or Mike Pompeo or even now Gina Haspel or any of these people, right? The CIA. No thanks. I'll take a pass. not listening to this stuff. Geez. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you see what kind of conversations being had in the elite circle. These folks that are ex-CIA, that are now pundits on CNN and the rest of this stuff, which is ridiculous in and of itself. But those are the comments that are being made regarding UFOs, and this is all recent. Like I said, last 10 days, last couple weeks, something like that. So anyway, there's more here. Any hot takes on this, Ash, or any ideas, or what's going on up there? If you're there, buddy.
John Brennan. That's
John
the guy's
Brennan.
name, right?
That's the guy, John Brennan.
Yeah. That's the lobbyist, the UFO lobbyist.
No, it's not. No, it's not. He's not. It's not the guy. He's not the guy. This is the ex-CIA. No, ex-CIA head. The guy that was wiretapping people at Capitol Hill. He was wiretapping senators and House representatives as head of the CIA. That guy. It's a different asshole. It's that guy.
Oh wait. So that guy did what? Because they tried to do a coup on Trump as he was coming into office, which is like, they all do bureaucracy kind of crap to each other all the time. That's pretty messed up. So was his involvement in all this?
No, he just made a comment. So they asked him the question.
Oh, he just commented on it.
Yeah, he commented on this. They asked him, and he kind of gave the kind of maybe a response, and so of course, anytime anybody says, any public official says anything about UFOs, everybody freaks out. Everybody freaks out. They just go nuts, right? And so even though if it's kind of like a non-comment, right? Even though if there's like without substance whatsoever, there's still people freaking out about it. So again, this was just an example of this, and not just that, how it kind of, even though he really didn't say much other than, blah, 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 the possibility of the thing is the blah, 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 blah. But it's still attracted attention in a news cycle because it's UFOs. I think now the more I look into this, now hear me out. This seems crazy, or maybe it doesn't seem so crazy. But the more I hear public officials talk about UFOs, the more I believe it's the shiny object. It is the proverbial shiny object that they're trying to make us watch and listen to and pay attention to as they do all the dirty shit behind the scenes. I think it's almost like they either know exactly what's up or they have no freaking idea, but they've realized how to weaponize it against us. And look, every time they do a little type of non-statement information drop like this, the UFO community goes nuts. So it's like, I wonder. I wonder.
So one of your hypothesi is that, I don't know if that's the word, is that, it's a distraction. So there is something that I've heard about, and I will not claim that it's true or not. I don't really want to get into it because I don't want to I just want to touch on it quickly, in case it is true, that a certain faction in China has released hard drives to America. This is supposed. I cannot confirm this literally at all, but it's ironic that this morning I heard this, and then this afternoon this is happening, and it goes right with the narrative you're saying. So he's saying that China, certain factions in China released tapes that have some damning evidence about Hunter Biden. That's like, there was that stuff that came out earlier, but it's like worse than that. Like way worse, in that it details some connections. It basically it connects like a lot of players to 2021. I don't know if this is true, but it also mentions how it talks about a biovirus in the CCP and stuff like that. So it's a really, really damning bombshell.
If true.
I don't know if that's true.
If true.
If true. Again, and I'm wrapping it in there. So if you come in at any point in what I'm saying, I don't know if this is true, but I watched the video. I can't validate anything of it, but supposedly a part of China, there's different families in China, and these families are saying like, look, these other families are like messed up and they're evil, and we're kind of like backstabbing them. So they gave these hard drives to America, and this kind of huge story is bubbling up below the surface. But again, this kind of falls into that QAnon stuff. And God, that you might as well just like, I won't discredit everything, but you could literally like, spin a board and then like throw a dart at it, and like sometimes that's basically like how often they're like right or not. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's some of that stuff. And some of that stuff's so far out there that like I have no way of validating any of it. So, but yeah, from those kind of circles, this was mentioned.
Careful.
So
careful.
That's huge news. Like I said, we're just glossing over it. Not saying it's true. So we can move on from that. But
that letter is banned. That letter is banned from the alphabet, guys. We're from now on. You can't say Qbert. You have to say Bert. Sorry, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. Hold on. So not only that. I think with this information warfare and the rest of this, like I don't know. I hadn't heard that. I'm hearing that for the first time right now. But I did hear just before we went live. Like I said, like I mentioned previously in the first part of the show here, that somebody was messaging me frantically to try and get some sort of a WikiLeaks drop, right? That just happened or something. So I mean. Like, who knows, right? I don't know what part of this or what part of this is or isn't, but it makes you wonder if the proverbial shiny object is the UFOs, and this kind of gets pushed to the front of the news cycle every time something politically inconvenient, the real inconvenient truth shows up.
Right.
So I don't know.
And that could be any faction, red, blue, CCP. CIA, Mossad, like you never know, right? Like it could be anyone kind of pulling the card or distracting you from anything. So yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we're talking about this tonight, guys. What do you think? Some UFO information bubbling up. They're saying the CIA has released some UFO documents, which we've got links to prove that the press is reporting this. As usual, you can always trace me back to my links here. I'm not just randomly making shit up to try and make you believe some stuff here. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Linking this, and you guys can check it out. Kind of circling back to the beginning just for a sec here, so you understand why we're talking about these things tonight. We don't always talk. We don't always talk about UFOs, but when we do, we have sources. Right, like that, kind of like that.
Beautiful.
So here's the New York Post reported today: CIA releases UFO black vault documents early. How to see them online. And again, this stuff is not new information. Like the Black Vault has had these documents. I'll reach out to John Greenwald and see if he can confirm for me that all this stuff is old. That this is not and really nothing brand new. But they're trying to say it is. Again, the proverbial shiny object, right? So I don't know. I don't know what this really means or any of the rest of this. But that's why we talk about it. That's why we think about it. And that's why we do all the rest of this. Okay, so we had Jeremy Corbell kind of shooting this down, saying, well, guys, this isn't new. And not only that, the CIA is going to let you know what they want you to know. So again, right, it kind of, taking all that into account, it really makes you wonder about the if this is that shiny object type of situation. Okay, so anyway, let's go to Avi Loeb now. Now, this is a little bit crazy. Let's go to Oumuamua. You guys remember this? Remember Oumuamua, Ash? The first interstellar object that kind of flew into the thing, and then so here we go. We're going to talk about this for just a sec before we.
You mean the extraterrestrial craft that traversed through our solar system?
Exactly. All right. This is from solarsystem.nasa.gov. This is the official story. The discovery, the first known interstellar object to visit our solar system, 1I/2017 U1, was also named Oumuamua. Was discovered October 19th, 2017 by the University of Hawaii's Pan-STARRS-1 telescope, funded by NASA's Near-Earth Object Observations Program, the NEOO, which finds and tracks asteroids and comets in Earth's neighborhood. While originally classified as a comet, observations revealed no signs of cometary activity until it slingshotted past the sun on September 9th, 2017 at a blistering speed of 196,000 miles per hour. It was briefly classified as an asteroid until new measurements found it was accelerating slightly, a sign it behaves more like a comet. All right, now the peculiar thing about this is if you're looking at the screen now, this was the artist rendering of this object. It was long, kind of cigar shaped, is what they were trying to say. It was actually spinning on 3 axes. We covered the shit out of this. I know more about Oumuamua probably than I know anything else. So not only was it really, really long and thin. Okay, they don't have exact measurements of it because it's based on mass profiles and mathematics and the rest of this stuff. But so it was long and thin. It was spinning on 3 axes, and it came at our solar system from an elliptical orbit, right, which is kind of above. Think of the solar system as a flat plane, and it came from above. All right, as above, so below. So they say. So okay, so it came in this elliptical orbit. It kind of dipped down around the Earth, past the sun. Got a good look at the Earth and Venus, as I remember. Maybe it was Mercury, and then it kind of sped back out of the solar system, almost like it was a scout, right? Now, the weird part is, since it was spinning on these 3 axes, just think about like a really long, thin object just spinning kind of wildly, and not in a linear way whatsoever. Then, as this thing actually approached the Jovian system, Jupiter, it began to speed up. It started to accelerate. All right. So now, if that doesn't look like, I don't know, let's say an alien scout would send something kind of in the solar system to make it look like it was something else, a comet or an asteroid or whatever it was. Like, this is all true. This is all true information. And there's still people doing mathematics and all kinds of things trying to explain why this might be an actual rock, right? Some sort of actual interstellar thing that we really haven't classified just yet. Again, a comet, asteroid, meteorite, the rest of these things. But then the mass and the weird spinning and the elliptical orbit, there's a ton of things that really point to this not being a comet or what they think it is. And then even more peculiar, this thing accelerating as it approached Jupiter on the way out of the solar system. So, and not only that, remember, these are mathematicians, these are astronomers that are making these claims. And so as a result of all of that, this was not like the slingshot effect. This was not Jupiter's orbital something or other grabbing this thing and speeding it up. All of that stuff is taken into account into these mathematical equations. All right, so there you go. There's the brief. If you guys don't know Oumuamua, again, this was a couple years ago. This was kind of when we were first doing this show, and we covered the hell out of it because it was the first interstellar object that actually ended up in our solar system. All right, there's been another one since, I believe, but this is the most famous because, well, there's an individual named Avi Loeb. Have you heard of Avi Loeb there, Ash?
No, I haven't actually.
He's the dude.
Is that the scientist?
That's the scientist. That's the guy who made the claim that you just said there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I read that whole article. And what's interesting is he was saying that if you look at it at what it's supposed to be, it doesn't align with the characteristics of just like a rock coming through our atmosphere, and that it did things that it's not supposed to. But if you aligned it with a extraterrestrial scout, it's perfect. So it actually statistically, it's not like something minor. It's substantial in his claim that it just doesn't add up. And he's a well-vetted professional in his field. This is not like conspiratorial. This is like literally like, well, there's no other explanation for this beyond that it had some sort of its own propulsion. And he mentioned that it sped up at some point where typically when a body, and I just sound smart. I'm just repeating what I read. I don't actually know what the hell I'm talking about. But when a body gets closer to a star, it absorbs energy and then it speeds up its rotation or something like that. But supposedly it did not account for what this was and its speed, and it shouldn't have absorbed that anyway. And that it, as an asteroid, it doesn't even like follow normal terms of it. You mentioned it was like long and narrow. That's not supposed to be like that. So, and just judging by like what I know about how big the universe is, you know how hard it would be to like randomly freaking hit our solar system with something. You know how fast everything's going and how vast space is. So yeah, is this like a reptilian scout? Are the reptilians coming to harvest the adrenochrome from its crop? Like, I don't know, you know, like, so it's kind of all building into this like narrative, and that, you know, maybe something's coming, and, maybe it's my homies. They're finally coming to. Hopefully, they don't reject me. You know,
right,
too.
Exactly.
Like,
hopefully, you're not too humanized, or they're going to eat you first. All right. So this is from the Harvard website, Harvard University, right? And so the Department of Astronomy. This is Avi Loeb, and so he's actually one of the foremost astrophysicists. I believe that's his title here, an astrophysicist in academia. But anyway, whatever he does, let's see. Here we go. Let's read it. Let's just read it. Let's not guess badly. Professor Loeb received a PhD in plasma physics at age 24 from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in 1986, and was subsequently a long-term member at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, where he started to work in the theoretical astrophysics. That's what he is, a theoretical astrophysicist. In 1993, he moved to Harvard University as an assistant professor in the Department of Astronomy, where he was tenured 3 years later. He also holds a visiting professorship at the Weizmann Institute of Science and a Sackler Senior Professorship by special appointment in the School of Physics and Astronomy at Tel Aviv University. Now, Loeb has authored nearly 700 research articles and 4 books. For full publications and biographies, here's his professional website. So anyway, that's Avi Loeb. Now, let's hear what Avi Loeb has to say regarding that interstellar object known as Oumuamua. Here we go. I got a couple clips here of him talking about this, and he wrote a book about this, which is just coming out. So again, like I'm saying, we have a lot of this stuff hitting the press again, all kind of at the same time. And is it the shiny object effect, or is this some sort of bizarre synchronicity? Otherwise, just coincidence. Who knows? But here we go. This is what he actually says regarding Oumuamua. Part 1, Avi Loeb action.
So this is really the very first object that came from outside the solar system that we've spotted close to Earth. And it was found in October 2017, 3 and a little bit years ago. At first, people thought it should be just like a comet or an asteroid from our own solar system. It just was ejected from another planetary system. And astronomers observed it, but then as they collected more data about it, it looked very weird, unlike anything that we have seen before. It was pushed away from the sun by another force than gravity. And the question was, what is that force? Usually in comets, they evaporate. The ice on the surface of a comet evaporates and gives it a push from the rocket effect. But in this case, there was no cometary tail, and the Spitzer Space Telescope looked very deeply at this object, didn't find any trace of gas coming off it.
Okay, you catch that? So if it was a comet, right, you get the sublimation. We talked about this quite often back when we were covering Oumuamua extensively. We looked into this every single day. There was new information coming out about this. But basically, when a comet comes into the solar system, it's frozen, right? Because of deep space, it's freezing balls out there, right? We all know this. But when it comes closer, the ice that's on the comet, as it gets closer to the celestial body, which is the sun, and has heat, sublimation occurs, and that means that the water melts off of the comet, right? And so that's how you get the comet tail. All right, as it comes into the solar system, it starts to heat up, it starts to melt, and that sublimation, it becomes the tail. Now, this thing went by the sun, and they could detect no sublimation off of this, like he just said. So it could not be a comet. It's almost like it didn't have that interstellar frozen things from wherever it came from. And again, the weird spinning and all the rest of this. And so, of course, we'll get to that in a sec. But Avi Loeb speculated, this individual that we just talked about with all these credentials, that's one of the highest, most respected astrophysicists in the world, even, he suggested this is an interstellar object from an alien civilization, because they couldn't really pin it down to be anything else. And so that he's been talking about this, he's been writing about this, and of course he gets blowback and all the rest of this. But let's hear part 2 of what he actually speculates here, and then we'll get to his book real fast, and then we'll get to Reddit. We've got some Reddit stuff too. Again, right, all at the same time. It's weird that all this stuff kind of hits the alien wire, right? The alien news wire. Here we go. Avi Loeb, part 2, talking about Oumuamua action.
And so the question was, why does it have an extra push? And we suggested, with a postdoc that worked with me, Shmuel Bialy, in a scientific paper, we suggested that maybe the object is pushed by reflecting sunlight. And the situation is very similar to a sail on a sailboat that is pushed by the wind. Here, light being reflected from the object is pushing it. Currently, we are developing this technology, light sails, because it's very good for space explorations. You don't need to carry the fuel with you. You can push a sail by the sunlight or by laser light, and then you can reach very high speeds with the spacecraft. So maybe that came from another civilization. Maybe it's artificial.
Okay, you see what he said there? He said it's probable that this thing was a light sail from an extraterrestrial civilization. You hear what he said? One of the foremost astrophysicists in the world has said this. And he released a book let's see, I thought I had the link to this book. Hold on. There's some other stuff here. Hold on. There it is. Here's the book itself. All right. And we talked about this on the news show just ever so briefly, because that's the type of news show it is. We just burn through a bunch of news and talk about it. We didn't really go in depth. Now, I'm linking this if you guys want to check out the book. It is named this: Extraterrestrial, the First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. All right. And again, written by Avi Loeb, referencing this particular celestial object known as Oumuamua. So linking it, you guys can check it out. And again, right, take it for what it's worth. We've got an academic that's actually saying, hey, this thing was not an actual natural satellite of sorts. This was an extraterrestrial light sail. And that was his speculation. And he wrote a book about it. So here it is, right here. If you guys are interested in looking into this, again, we're not plugging the dude's book. Unless we are. Unless you're interested, then go ahead and buy it. Go check it out. It's got an ebook available and all this other stuff. He didn't pay us to say any of this, but I think these are the conversations that need to happen. Academia needs to step up and be able to take chances. And I applaud this guy for that, for at least taking these chances. So anyway, did you know all that about Oumuamua, Ash? And then we'll move on to some Reddit stuff here.
Not everything. I learned a few things. It's interesting, and I can't remember because I hear so much crap. But I heard this conspiracy theory a while ago that we may have aliens might have advised us. I can't remember where this is from. Not to communicate, and that soon. Or maybe this was from the abduction phenomenon, that soon you'll know that things are going to change or they're coming, that a foreign object will move through the solar system or something like that. I don't know. But then it happened a couple years later with this Oumuamua thing. And I went, huh. And I can't remember the life of me, the source to. I love to do that. I like to keep track of things and then just kind of check shit off as we go. And certain things get more points than others, right? I'd love to create a giant conspiracy board and just keep a tally. As news comes out, and drop an article underneath it. Point. That's got 30 points, 20 points to this, and I guess what we've been saying tonight is a couple things are getting a lot more points these days. We're talking about false flag alien invasion. Now, I did want to bring one thing up that we kind of didn't mention before. A narrative that happened recently was we didn't talk about the Galactic Federation of Worlds. That was like a recent thing that happened.
We did 2 whole shows on that. Yeah. And so that was about 3 weeks, a month ago, something like that. But we did 2 full shows on that. You want to recap that? I need to head out for 60 seconds. I'll be right back. You start that. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we're talking about potentially a narrative where we're being pushed towards disclosure potentially, and we mentioned that the military will kind of only go in a direction that it sees fit. But another narrative or path forward is that maybe we've decided as a species, our leaders are in cahoots with an organization, basically a government of space, potentially formed of different life forms, and that's the claim that was made about the Galactic Federation of Worlds. What a great name, the Galactic Federation of Worlds. It's like Alex Jones. But yeah, supposedly that one Israeli security officer came out and said this, but it's hard to validate his claims. But this has been mentioned before with the remote viewing guys I've been reading about. They have a narrative that they're communicating that they basically seem to have come to their own conclusion about the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and that maybe we're kind of ramping up to kind of join, right? Maybe this is all part of joining. Maybe this isn't some nefarious plot. Maybe it's just like, all right, like, we need to join. Maybe that's the instability that we see, is that our leaders or governments are impatiently just trying to push us toward that direction. And now with all the craziness of 2020 is over, it's time to start moving forward. What's up?
Ash, I step away for 60 seconds and you signed us up to the Galactic Federation. What the hell is going on here?
Hey, man, just put on this pin. Let me chip your brain. And don't worry about it.
All right. Okay. All right.
No, but
nothing to see here.
The Galactic Federation of Worlds. So, one of the things I keep tabs on is these remote viewing guys, and they're pretty adamant that after all their experiences, and this is a group, that there are 3 factions in interaction with this world, that they influence us as if we're, kind of like a Middle Eastern proxy country. When like Russia and United States, I almost said Earth, the United States were, like kind of duking it out in Afghanistan, I believe it was, or Iraq. And they were like kind of like providing helicopters and providing anti-helicopter stuff. Like a lot of extraterrestrials kind of interact with this planet. And the main 3 are the Galactic Federations of Worlds, Reptilians. This is their narrative. And the Orions, which is like, I think like on it, like they kind of look like us. So that's their official narrative. That's from their data set. So take it what you will. And maybe we're looking to join it, and we've kind of got this plan. And they're trying to educate us. Honestly, my opinion is either that or false flag, or maybe they don't give a shit. Maybe they're just dumping stuff in, or like it's not a big deal. Just throwing us some breadcrumbs because it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, who knows? Exactly. Yeah. Why we do the conversation? Okay, so again, Avi Loeb talking about that. Let's circle back to that, and then let's move on to Reddit. Now, if you guys watch the news show, you'll know. Like, this is the thing, right? So as these narratives develop, if you watch the news show on Twitch, shameless plug, you will be ahead of all of the game, because we talk about the breaking ass news on that show. Like, it's literally the day of or the day prior. We're talking about fresh, hot news that the mainstream hasn't even picked up on yet. So that's the thing. If you go over there, you're going to be ahead of the game. And not only that, like I keep saying, it's not the political weapon to stick in your neck and turn you into a red team or a blue team. We're not doing that. We are literally trying to avoid that as much as possible because it's stupid. I said it. Yeah, I said it. It's stupid. And this red team, blue team stuff. Look, don't come to me with some novel idea like from the red team or the blue team, like you just made this up and it's the best thing that ever happened to humanity. GTFO. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's concocted. It's propaganda, and it's guess what? Neither side has your best interest in mind. Sorry, I said it. All right, let's go to Reddit. Let's go to Reddit. I'm just saying, come watch the news show. You will be on the tip of this. We talked about this same stuff this past week and the previous week, and now it's kind of culminated into a show like this because we're watching the news cycle very closely. All right, let's go to Reddit. What do you got on Reddit, Ash? Never mind. I got something on Reddit. Let's go to my Reddit first. Ash stepped away to get a alien beverage. Here we go. Check this out. This is
God
this is
damn it!
nuts.
I muted myself.
You're fine. Sorry, too late. We're gonna have to get your Reddit thread
I
next.
lost my chance.
We're gonna go to mine first. Now, okay. If you got that was pretty good. That was a pretty good alien scream. All right. So this is now. So not only that, all the stuff we've been talking about is kind of in. Again, the news cycle, we got the Black Vault stuff. We got the Jeremy Corbell chiming in, the CIA, disinformation, the New York Post, Drudge Report. Like all these people are kind of reporting this new narrative, right? This new the CIA is releasing this information. We got 6 months for the countdown for the anyway, blah blah, right? It's kind of bombed into the news cycle. This is another one. 10.2K upvotes on conspiracy on Reddit. We talked about this yesterday on the news show. Like I said, come watch the news show live and you will be ahead of the game most times. All right? We're only human, but I'm telling you what, most times we're ahead of this. And we were ahead of this. All right? Just talked about this yesterday. This was posted on Conspiracy Sub on Reddit 2 days ago. Let me just read a little bit of this because we did the whole thing, the whole treatment when we did this on the news show. But just in brief. Headline is this, or the title. I guess title would be the proper term. Quote, or sorry, not quote, unquote. I don't know. Title. I know someone that works for NOAA. The disclosure rumors are 100% true and the species in question is aquatic. All right? And now this person goes on to say they have a friend, an acquaintance, a contact, let's say, an anonymous contact even. And they were having a conversation. The conversation led to this exchange. This individual asked them, the writer of this thread on Reddit, if they believed in aliens, which they replied, I'd like to, but we simply don't have enough evidence. Their expression perked up and they said, I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to take me absolutely serious. All right. He continued to say there was a Russian submarine incident that happened in 2019, which we covered in the news show. If you want the full treatment there, go check out the news show. Have I said it enough? Go check out the news show. We talked about this and even kind of went in depth a little bit with the Russian submarine incident. But it happened not too long ago where supposedly a fire broke out on board a nuclear-powered Russian sub and killed everyone on board. Now, this individual, this source that worked for NOAA, which let me tell you what NOAA is real quick. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, right? Now, remember, this could be just some rando on Reddit making some shit up, all right? Always got to qualify this. Anonymous sources, I hate them, because for this exact reason and all the same political stuff, right? You can basically just make a bunch of shit up and say, my anonymous source told me. And this stuff happens all the time. So just grain of salt, right? All right. So then they continued. So they said that the Russian nuclear-powered sub that killed everyone on board with the fire was a story that Putin came up with for what really happened. The sub was apparently investigating an underwater base that's controlled by non-human entities. They got too close and the sub was destroyed by these beings. My friend went on to detail how most world governments are aware of their presence, yet keep it undisclosed because of the ramifications to society it may have. Also, because we can't do anything to stop or forcefully reveal them. Now, I'm pretty sure, Ash, you didn't know about that one, did you? Yeah, we just went there. Extraterrestrials.
I actually did.
Oh, did you? Okay, well, all right. Because you have a.
I couldn't find it again. I read it and I didn't have the link to bring it up. No, but I did read it, and I've heard these rumors before where they're like go underwater and they see extraterrestrials with like globes on their heads and they're like swimming, like, what's interesting is this kind of feeds into the whole thought that they've always been here right? That's kind of what he mentions in that article. They've always been here, like before us.
Exactly.
That they like that. That's where they live, and we just randomly live on the surface, which is unoptimal with the amount of catastrophes that happens on this planet. Or maybe at one point they lived on the surface and they were driven underground, or maybe the standard is to live not on the surface, because if there are enemy extraterrestrial races, they're not obviously exposed. So interesting stuff.
Or, like we said, maybe all this is a bunch of horse shit. So always remember, you got to keep all of the perspectives.
Always possible. Always possible.
Always possible. All right. So, okay. So there we go. NOAA, National Oceanic, what did I say? Some or other. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Okay. That's, again, here's the link for that if you guys want to check out what that is, what that means. But again, it's some Reddit thread on a conspiracy board, which again could be absolutely nothing. Let's be real. This is probably just, some LARPing. Some real life IRL type of situation. Okay, but you've got another Reddit thread that I haven't seen. So why don't you introduce us to some Reddit thread action for the next one? What is this next thing?
Yeah, so looks like this guy. So that by the way, that's a really interesting find, and we'll see if that was, let's put a point for that guy and see if it ends up becoming true. But I have this link here. I haven't really gotten to look at it, but this guy mentions Brenda5Clow on r/aliens on Reddit. I understand why nobody really wants to dig into these files. Some of them are reports of things like lunches with political people discussing utterly mundane politics, such as Russian TV listings or other random stuff. 1 out of 5 or someone interesting. So he actually went through and cataloged some of these here. There seems to be quite a bit of content. If you actually click on the link, you start scrolling, you're like, oh God, no, like that. You're like, no, I'm not going there, and you give up instantly. And that's actually been a big problem. Like, as I forget what organization they dumped previously in the past, and then they were on their social media, there was find anything interesting, and they had to be like, guys, and they had to steer people. It's because people were lazy, they don't want to freaking go through everything. No. It was kind of hilarious because it seemed like they were I forget what organization it was, but they dropped some stuff and no one really gave it. And they were trying to kind of get people to dig and learn some stuff. So maybe this is another attempt on that. But yeah, some of the things he has here, it's quite a bit. Probably too much for our whole show. But let's get into a few of these. What do you say, Mike?
Yeah, let's do it. So let's look at the top one here. So again, these are actually files from the Black Vault, which we talked about when we started the show, how this kind of hit the news wires. So again, I'm not exactly sure why it's news again. Maybe I'm missing something here. That's very possible. If anybody knows if there was a new data dump for this, I'd love to hear it, because as far as I'm aware, it's not new. But it is generating renewed interest, which in my opinion is good. We should be able to go through this stuff and look at some of these old FOIA stuff. I mean, that's what we should be doing most of the time anyway. I mean, not most of the time, but you know what I mean. We should be working some of this stuff in and looking at some of these FOIA documents to find out what's really going on. Because clearly, right, there's disinformation, there's this or that to the other thing. I mean, it's the thing that builds a conversation. You got to be able to look at some of this. So let's just look at the top one. That's where this stuff came from. It's from John Greenwald Jr. from the Black Vault. Again, like I said, we talk about him. I hold him personally in high regard because he's done a ton for ufology. He's done a ton for not just UFOs and kind of getting the word out into the mainstream. He's done a ton for government transparency by going after these FOIAs. So, like I said, I hold him in high regard. And let's look at the first one. You want to read the first one there?
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. I'm not going to call out the name of the file. It's CO5511759. But you guys can kind of check this out for yourself and see what this guy dug up and follow up on anything that we kind of talk about here is in this file. It's sort of an index of these kind of things. So yeah, the first juicy little tidbit here that he found was a quote from one of these documents that says, still, they managed to collect materials confirming such visits. Additionally, Kol.Leov, it's like, I guess that's like abbreviation for some military guy's name,
Colonel
said
Leov.
that according to an expert in Colonial Leov, is that it?
Colonel
Colonial
Leov. Colonel Leov. I think that's what that is.
I gotcha. Said that according to an expert in identified flying objects, Russian anti-aircraft forces downed a UFO in the North Caucasus last year and even took an alien captive. See, I told you they got some alien shit. They could like literally, they could be like, you know what, screw it. In 5 minutes from now, we all know aliens are real. Like 100% they could do that. So anyway, this is CIA documents, guys. This is some real stuff. So the next one is similar. I think it's a quote on the same subject. Is still they managed to collect materials confirming such visits. Additionally, Colonel Leov said that according to an expert in unidentified flying objects, Russian anti-aircraft forces downed a UFO. Oh yeah, it's saying this again. So yeah, what do you think about that? It's pretty crazy if that's even true that the Russians basically took down a UFO and caught an alien.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, you know, like straight nutter butters. And we've talked about this stuff before. We've actually looked into some of these files, and there's a lot of like hot and spicy stuff in here. And you got to wonder, right? So reading this, this Colonel Leov said that the Russian anti-aircraft forces downed a UFO in the North Caucasus last year, and even took an alien captive. All right. A captive extraterrestrial after they shot down a UFO. All right. So for me, it begs a lot of questions, right? A lot of questions right off the bat. Like, okay, hold on. Now, this is in some sort of CIA file. Is this a joke? Is this a disinformation thing that they, you know, some sort of counter-operative sort of situation where they put it in the files and they let it escape as oops, they got our files, and then they put this crazy shit in there to make us go, what the hell's going on here, right? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of information back and forth, whether it's, you know, as seen by the Russian hacks that just happened over the past year, right? In these espionage and counter-espionage type of situations that you can almost wonder if some of this stuff is just kind of written in there as a bunch of bogus BS to make the other side go, wait, they shot down a UFO. You know what I mean? Imagine like an analyst on this side, kind of an intelligence analyst going through the information from this Russian anti-aircraft that shot down a UFO and going, boss, I think you should come see this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like this in particular, I don't quite know. Again, it makes me suspicious in a lot of ways. But maybe, so like I said, I don't know if this information is new, but this is a Reddit thread where they're talking about how they went through these documents. Go back to that initial link that I had. I'm gonna put it in there again. If you guys want to go through and try and read some of this yourself, here's where the source is. This is where it all comes from. All right. Again, the Black Vault, John Greenwald Jr., fantastic dude doing FOIA work, God's work in my opinion, letting us know government transparency, and this is what we need to do. So here we go. Linking it. You guys can go through and dig through it yourself, and you'll see what a pain in the ass it is, because there's a lot of this stuff that's redacted. A lot of this stuff is like really difficult to read because it's scanned in these really crappy little just, you know, old school typewriters type stuff. But anyway, okay. Anything else in here that you, as you're scanning here, anything we should talk about regarding this?
Yeah, a lot of this is talking about UFOs and experiences and how the Air Force interacts with a lot of these. So I'm glossing over and kind of summing this stuff up, and trying to see if anything of note. In that some of these objects are of similar experiences to the Nimitz one, where they were confirmed by like ground radar and air radar. They talk about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and how they have, there seems to be breadcrumbs of better UFO evidence, like better pictures. of flying saucers beams, right? Like beams, like doing something. I haven't really gotten in that one. Different sightings of the objects behaving in amazing and unexpected ways in comparison to Earth technology. There's a lot of different, a lot of different encounters and events, and them kind of cataloging those. Here's one. I'm not sure what to expect, but the quote is spicy as hell. So this is from Moscow Central Television First Program and Orbita Networks in Russia, 1945. Schumer video report from Ultra Program. New saucer-like aircraft developed in Saratov. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Contact. There is no need to establish contact with unearthly civilizations or to take precautions against unexpected contact with aliens. Unexpected things await us on Earth. Video shows more shots of structure beings worked on by technicians in what appears to be a factory assembly shop. It is difficult to imagine It is difficult to imagine that combining the wing and fuselage. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm trying to like kind of get through this and like pick meaningful stuff out. Some interest. Yeah, this is definitely worth a gloss over, and you can kind of dive into whatever kind of piques your interest. A lot of this is kind of like that was clearly from like a documentary in Russia, so that could literally mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a pain in the ass to parse through. You're right.
The disinformation campaigns back and forth. Like, who knows, right? Like imagine if you're Russian and you think you've acquired some critical data from the Americans, and then it says that they shot down a UFO and have extraterrestrials captive. You know what I mean? If that wouldn't make you shit your pants, I'm not sure what would. Okay, so anyway, we are doing this live. We love to include you. If you want to be part of the show tonight, we're talking about Disclosure 2021, and why all this is hitting the newswire now. Is this shiny object? Is this trying to get us to talk about this instead of the other stuff, which we try and avoid anyway? The other stuff's a bunch of political hogwash that they just sling mud back and forth and make ridiculous claims about the other side, untrue, which I talked about earlier today on the show, right? Like we're supposed to live in this world where we believe that the term political rhetoric means flat out lies, mischaracterizations, and not only that, smear tactics, which doesn't mean rhetoric at all. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. And, like I said earlier today, a politician that says now this thing is right, and then 6 months from now says that same thing is wrong. No, that's not rhetoric. That's horse shit. I'm sorry. That's flat out lies, and we shouldn't accept that anymore. Like it's just part of what politicians do. No, no longer. I will not accept it. It is not political rhetoric. It is horse shit. All right, there we go. There's my political soapbox moment for the evening. But anyway, you get the point, right? You get what I'm saying here. We're supposed to believe that all these things are real. All of the things that we're told, all of these informations that come from the governments are facts. And I'm not so sure. I'm suspicious. I'm always suspicious. You got to check the source. You got to make sure you know where this stuff's coming from. And so, again, that's why we always have, an open line for you. That's why we always share our links with you, where we get the information from. And if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Troubledminds.org is the official website. You can find both the phone number and the Discord link there. And, looking to hear from you. Looking to finish this out. We got about 15, 20 minutes left. So if you want to be part of the show, now's the time. Now's the time, or we're going to cut you off. So we got a little bit more to talk about. We could probably go 5 hours because we always could, because we have tons to talk about and tons of content. But for right now, looking to hear from you and looking to finish this up. So thoughts on this, Ash, and the rest of this, whatever is actually going on with this narrative of UFOs and these documents that are supposedly dumped and the rest of this. We got a call coming in. We'll take this in just a sec. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's they've done a really good job of pumping it full of disinformation, and for whatever reason, the government and the extraterrestrials want to remain anonymous, right? Like, we can argue all day whether or not aliens are here, statistically or whatever. But in my heart of hearts, my mind's eye, it's just all but confirmed for me. And I know it's different for you guys and other people out there, but I mean, to me, it's kind of like a no-brainer that they're here. Something is here. And for whatever reason, they don't want us to know, and either does the government. So what are those reasons? Why do those two comparison circles overlap and come out to true? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. And they've done a really good job of hiding it.
I agree 100%. All right, so let's go to this call. Now look, guys, this is Jay again. He's calling back. Now, he's working hard for your sake, all right? You can be on the show, and I want to hear from you. Join the Discord, hop in the chat, get in here, 702-957-1037. I will call shame you. I'm not above that. Join the Discord, troubledminds.org. We're going to go to Jay in New York. Jay in New York, you're on Troubled Minds. You got 2 minutes, brother. 2 minutes. What's on your mind?
Mike Ash, how are you doing? Good.
Fantastic. Thank you, man.
So, did I say something in the chat that would make me take my Facebook down? I can't even get on my Facebook now.
No, I don't think so.
And that's how I was listening to your show, because I was watching the chat in Discord so I could chat with other people, because I just have an iPad and then I can't do all of it at the same time.
I don't think so, my man.
For whatever reason,
you can't do all of that at the same time. Imagine what it's like to be me. I'm watching this, I'm watching that, I'm watching the other thing. Well, hey, man, I'm juggling a dozen balls here at the same time, too.
The YouTube videos with the Restream bots and everything else like that. I'm watching them pop up and everything else like that. I'm watching the chat that's going on one. And then they shut my Facebook down because I don't know, gave Ash a thumbs up or something like that because of something they said. I can't even get on my Facebook now.
That's what you get.
I think I actually snorted.
Are we the next one?
No.
I mean, here's a really funny thing, is the way that the Facebook is set up. When you want to hit the live button to catch up because you're buffering or something like that, I give you a frowny sign instead of a catch up.
I don't know, man. I don't know, to be honest. Like I said, we've had problems before. We've been taken down. We're actually on our backup YouTube channel because we said some hot and spicy things. Actually, we didn't at all. They just gave us a copyright strike.
You guys have several YouTube channels?
Yeah. Dude, we're on our second. We're on the backup channel. That's why I put in the title "Band Talk Show" because our main channel we can't stream on.
Or a ham radio or something.
Yeah. We come on. We talked about this, man. All right, your final thought on the aliens. Do you think they're here? Or do you think they're not? Let me know what's up.
They've been here forever, man. They've been here forever. We're just lucky they let us live here. And all these little jokes in the chat about we're just food, that's probably the truth. You know, we're going to take 3 or 4 billion of them with us when they go, so they got a place to lay their eggs or breed their whatever they're doing or make their medicine or whatever. We're just, we're cows hanging out on the planet.
We're cattle.
The important people are living in underground.
Are you saying that Ash may get his hamburger after all? All right, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Are you saying that Ash may get his hamburger after all? And we're the cattle? Anyway,
Maybe.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
You know, Elon Musk might be right, man. We should all head off to Mars. You know?
Yeah,
God only knows.
No, don't do that.
Tidbit,
don't do that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Okay, Jay, I appreciate the call. You were the best, man. I appreciate the enthusiasm. Thank you so much for calling. You have a fantastic evening. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, have a good night, Mike.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. There we go. If you want to be part of the show, it's as simple as that. You dial this phone number, just like Jay, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Get your ass in here. Get your ass on the show. We got a few minutes left. We're taking calls. If we want to know what you think. Is this the shiny object? Is this the way the politics are being distracted from so that they can get, maybe jam 2 impeachments through in 5 days? or is this something else entirely? Is this the real deets, the real actual things that are happening out there? It's impossible to say, right? Without insider information, we're looking at a bunch of disinformation on the outside and shrugging our shoulders. I mean, and that's why we do the show, because again, like I said, this is not the answer show. This is the question show. And remember, odds are, by my best estimate, we are being fooled, and not just fooled on a colossal level. All right, it's important. It's important to note that a lot of this stuff may mean absolutely nothing. So just keep your tinfoil strapped tight, and keep in mind that the actual whatever this happens to be is whatever it is, and it's your truth. It's not the truth of the government. It's not the truth of academia. It's not the truth of the technocracy. It's not. This is your truth, and you're an individual, and you deserve your own truth. And so just remember, all of these things we talk about, the division and all this stuff, you don't have to be that. You don't have to live that life. Like that depression and all that other stuff is just not necessary. We got another phone call coming in. We're going to take this in just a sec, and we'll keep on trucking. We're talking about aliens tonight. We're talking about disclosure in the process. We're talking about disinformation. We're talking about the Russians. We're talking about everything, kind of like we always do. And yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up on this show. You having a good time, Ash? You having a good time? I'm having a hell of a time, bro. This is fun.
Hey, man. I'm having a blast. Always. Aliens,
Always.
blast.
Aliens. Aliens, I'm in. I'm all in. All right, let's go. We're going to go to this phone call right here. This is a Bailey from Hawaii. Bailey, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Fantastic. Doing well. How about you? What's on your mind tonight?
Doing pretty well. I want to throw out a little bit of a theory here. Okay? So we just got a big report about UFOs, right? A bunch of UFO data from the CIA. But within the last 10 years, they stopped calling them UFOs. They call them UAPs. So is this thing like a big trick to get everyone to kind of get all the old info, but like not any of the info on the UAPs? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder. That's a hell of a question. So I don't know if you've been watching very closely to the show for a very long time, but a year ago, I had a very similar sentiment, meaning that I had a theory regarding UAPs, remember? And how I said that there were possibly plasma projections to radar spoof, right? And they changed the name. It was not UFO, which means unidentified flying object. It became UAP, which was unidentified aerial phenomenon, which implies not an object at all, right? There's something here. I think there's something to that. Yeah. They changed the name for a reason, and I don't know. Like maybe I think you're onto something there. I think for sure there's a reason they changed the name, and maybe this is a disinformation campaign to throw us off the trail of maybe the new things and back to the old things, back to Project Blue Book days. Yeah, that's a fantastic take. And again, right, like you think about all of this, and you wonder. We have to parse it all. We have to try and keep all of the data in mind before we make these decisions. So yeah, go ahead, continue.
Yep.
What else? What else you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It's like, I think we need to consider that, the way that they're tricking it might just be in the words. It always usually is they're wording it in a certain way to make it sound a certain way. But I think you're right that, like, they wouldn't change the name if it wasn't for a reason, because they have a historical record of all these things, and it's a lot of work to keep a historical record of something changing the name over time, right? So, yeah, I think you're right there, and I don't know. I just wanted to call and point that out.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. So let me ask you before you go. Your best guess. Do you think all this alien stuff is real? Do you think extraterrestrials are here, like that Reddit thread where they said they're underwater, or do you think all that's hogwash and instead this is all disinformation we're swimming in? If you got to, and I'm not pinning you to a binary choice. Given all of the things, what's your best guess here?
So, like, this is kind of long-winded, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think what we call aliens probably have lived here longer than we have, and I think that they probably live underground. I mean, we don't have any data on that, but that's kind of where the trail always ends up leading. I think on top of that, they are not very caring of people, and they kind of like stay separate. And I think that this is a way for them to maybe fake an attack, if that makes sense, so that they can come, air quotes, save us. right? Because if they come save us, then we'll trust them. Does that make sense?
The Great Reset. That makes perfect sense. Project
Yeah,
Bluebeam brings in the Great Reset, like Ash said earlier, as suggested by Werner von Braun. Whoa. Yeah, maybe. So you think there's a lot of truth and a little bit of fact and all mixed in together, and we don't know what to think. But we should be on our guard, right? We should be suspicious.
I mean, it's connected. Sorry, go ahead.
Now you're the caller. Go right ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's connected to the DUMS and, the stuff they're putting in the air that I don't think I can actually say the name of, but, that kind of stuff. It's all theory, but I think there's a connection to all of it. And at the end of the day, they're trying to get us to think there's an alien invasion because they don't want us to realize, they're here. Look out in the sky. Don't look under the water. Don't look underground. Look at the sky.
Oh, that would be the disinformation. Think about that. That's crazy. That's a good point. The biggest disinformation campaign of all time. Look to the skies, and they're underground.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And
I don't know, that's what I think. But
okay. Cool.
Happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah. Well, again, we're all human. Remember, we have the right to be wrong, and it also makes us right sometimes too. So, Bailey, I appreciate the call. Thank you for all the enthusiasm in the Discord. Thank you for hanging out and being fantastic in the chat. Thanks for dropping the links. Thanks for being on the news show. I know that I know you're a close friend of the show. You don't call that often, so I want to tell you when you do call in, thank you. I appreciate all of it.
Thanks for doing the show.
Appreciate it.
And taking my call.
You got it. Anytime.
Later.
Thanks. Have a great night, Bailey. There you go. As simple as that, guys. You want to be on the show, you can call in just like that. Thank you, Bailey. Thanks, Jay, for the calls tonight. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Easy as that. And there you go. All right, Ash, what's your hot take there? Do you hear that? I know you heard that. That's a hell of a take.
Bailey's always dropping the knowledge and having brilliant ideas. Yeah. It's interesting. They've kind of humiliated the term UFO, like our Jesus the Carpenter friend called in. He mentioned that when he was growing up, he made fun of people for that, and that was kind of a purposeful thing that needed to. The interest needed to be stomped out. So it's kind of similar, so the UFO thing is, so it's ostracized, it's demonized. You're crazy if you believe in it. Well, now they want you to believe in it, or at least believe in at least that portion of the narrative of the story. So they rebrand it, right? That's how you do it. You rebrand it. It's like the Cadillac. The Cadillac was like for older people. It was like cruising, and they're like, shit, how do we sell this thing to like younger people? And so they got Matthew McConaughey to like, all right, I'm driving a Cadillac and I'm not old, It's rebranding. So that's an effort. So if that is the truth, then this effort started then. It didn't start recently.
Yeah.
Started then.
Well, notice that when we started the show, I was playing clips from
and
8 months
before that.
ago. Yeah, exactly. And before that, and before that, and
planning
before that.
out, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And again, right? So we're regurgitating information that our goldfish memory, as they tell us it's supposed to be, is they get to rewrite history the way they want it. If we forget the past, they get to rewrite the future. And of course, as a result of that, control the present. Does that sound familiar to anybody? 1984 for George Orwell, guys. Emmanuel Goldstein, The Enemy, 2 minutes of hate. We did 3 hours of hate, except there's no hate here. Let's finish this up, Ash. How you doing, buddy? How you feeling, man? I had so much fun tonight. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here with us, man.
No problem, man. Just here to say some crazy shit and entertain everyone. That's the goal at the end of the day, It's just kind of to go through it. And guys, I don't know. For me personally, I have it's almost like schizophrenia to the highest degree. I have a daily routine of oh, look at this crazy shit that's going on in this story and that. So there's like a ongoing tab of things, and there's a million things out there to know of, and so it's becoming more difficult for me to like kind of hone in on a specific thing, like because it's like any of it could be true at the end. At the end it could have been like the Minotaur. The Minotaur was like a Greek god or some shit, and that was the Anunnaki god, or like we don't know, and so like which one of these things is true, but it definitely seems like actually, so something shifting back to what we were talking about earlier. So like we're saying, like you don't know what's true, what isn't, and there's stuff coming out all the time. But, and you mentioned this, Mike, this is true, is that when you're kind of keeping tabs on all this stuff, and I do the same thing, Mike. I don't know if I do it to the degree you do, but I have Reddit, this, that, the other things, and these things pop up, so I get wind of stuff very quickly. Is you can kind of gauge the ferocity of a story or a narrative. So there are things that are more interesting than this that have popped up and gained little to no traction. But then when things that are not entirely deserving of a New York Times article in comparison to stuff you've seen before, but all of a sudden it's on New York Times, it's here, that's when you go, that's someone pushing it. That's a narrative being pushed. And we saw that with the UFO stories. When those UFOs dropped, that was a coordinated effort. That means there's an external entity, and I'm making it sound like it's an alien, a faction or a conglomerate that is coordinatingly pushing this content all at once to try and get it maximum oomph. So when the Galactic Federation of Worlds story hits, that was also another one that got oomph really fast. I mean, I know that people are generally interested in UFOs and it gets high engagement, but right? So when you see the CIA declassifies this file and you see it pop up in like 4 or 5 different areas, but then you go and you look into it and there's nothing, it doesn't seem to be anything of substantial newness, right? It's not the UFO community suddenly getting excited about stories they heard 20 years ago. That doesn't make any sense. So that means it's being pushed, right? So just a little checking that box.
Yeah, the algorithms are right.
And you see that, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the velocity of the story. It's for sure. It's a thing. And again, if you don't believe it, guys, go to YouTube. Like I always say, click on the trending, and you'll see that Beyonce has 22 billion views, and then the next trending thing has 14,000. Right? So it's not about any of that. It's about what they want you to see. It's not about like an actual mathematical calculation from top to bottom trending. No, because if that was the case, there would be a bunch of information that might make you change your mind. And they don't want you to change your mind. Anyway, yeah, it's all fact, man. These are all the facts, and that's why we're here talking about this stuff. And again, double check. Don't trust the words we say. Knuckleheads on the internet with microphones, all right? We're just people like you, all right? Concerned citizens. Double check us. It's why it's important to note our sources in many cases, most cases, why it's important to have an open phone line, why it's important to read the chat as we go, why it's important to do this live. All of those things are important, and yeah. All right,
it helps us get a dial on what you guys think, and so we're not off in left field, kind of like, I generally want to know what you guys are interested in, what you think. And for me personally, it helps keep me honest. Like, hey, dude, that's crazy. Or, no, yeah, I honestly, I talked to like 5 or 6 different people in the last, and I'm talking from like old neighbors meeting for the first time to grandmas to like young kids and I'll test on them what the public, that's like my sample test for like what the public is willing to accept. And so like a lot of every single person I talk to is willing to accept and thinks that the coronavirus was a bioweapon. They're like, yeah, I'm open to that, yeah, because of like the way COVID acts and this. And so it's interesting, so like with these stories, as the news pushes it, everyone gets a little bit deeper into the pond, right? Into the conspiracy theory pond. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys say. And I know there's there's more casual people with this kind of stuff, and there's hardcore people. And we love all of that input. It's great.
It's absolutely great. And as you know, the hardest working streamers in the business over here. You already know. You guys are here. If you guys are here at the third hour, at the end of the third hour, you guys already know. And you're still here because there's interesting things going on. Because there's a discussion to be had. Because this doesn't happen everywhere. And so, again, I say this all the time, and I mean this. We're blessed to have all of you. We're blessed that you guys don't get in here and fight with each other constantly in the chat. We're blessed with all of the great interactions, engagement, calls, etc., so on. And so I want to say thank you to everybody listening tonight, and thank you to Ash for being here. And let's keep our ear to the ground. Watch the news cycle. Don't give in to their hate. Take care of yourself, because you need yourself to take care of other people. That's it. It's simple. It's a simple message. And again, it's becoming verboten. to be good to people is becoming geez. All right, Ash, we're done, buddy. You can drink a beer now.
Crack open this human I got over here on the side here.
All right. I hope it's fresh and delicious. Thanks everybody for listening tonight. One more time, you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. Thank you for listening. And from our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night.